Okay, and we should be live for the first time in forever, which I feel like is how I start like basically every single stream ever, is being like, yeah, hey guys, we're live. Oh my gosh, it's been like 3 months for the first time in forever. We're back. Oh my gosh, and I'm just checking the audio to see how it all sounds. I have to click into it. I listen. There's gonna be a lot of scuff. I'm just trying to listen to it and make sure like you guys can actually hear the game and everything, because it sounds differently when you start streaming it, okay? Okay, sounds good, looks good. Okay, we're good. There's going to be a copious amount of scuff today, because, so, I mentioned in the last epic reaction that I was like, hey man, we're back, we're gonna start streaming again, I'm here, locked in, ready to go. And then I vanished for like 2 months again. Whoa, what a surprise. Again, every single stream I do, we come back and I start at the exact same way, being like, hey guys, here's where I've been. So, but listen, this time it's not my fault. Hang on, I gotta pull up the YouTube stream over on something else. So basically what happened was, hang on, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. I have everything pulled up that I need to. Again, this is gonna just deal with me. Deal with me for a second, okay? Oh gosh, the streams are so far behind. That's okay. We're running a little bit more behind than we usually are, but that's fine. I'm just glad to be here. So basically, what happened was, I've mentioned it a few times, I believe, but for a while now, my main PC has been running really loud, a lot louder than it used to. When I first got it, just a little bit over a year ago, it was completely silent, even while like playing like a heavily intensive game, streaming, VTubing, all that good stuff. It ran like flawlessly. It was so smooth, I loved it. But then, again, it just started getting, like, a little bit louder, and, like, by a little bit louder, it's, like, quadrupled in volume, and then, like, a week later, it got a lot louder, then it got a lot louder, and I was like, this isn't good. So I cleaned my computer, you know, I opened it up, hand-aired it, everything like that. Didn't help at all. It's still so loud. Hang on. I'm just pulling stuff up so then we can tweet all this stuff out. View channel. Oh, ew, no, don't do that. There we go. And so then I was like, oh, this is really not good. What's going on? And then I started getting hit with blue screens of death, and I was like, oh no, what's going on? Please don't. And so I contacted the company that I got the PC from and was like, hey, I have a 2-year warranty. Does it cover like blue screening and stuff? And they're like, get us that error code, dog. And I'm like, so valid. But here's the issue. I noticed that there was an error code, but every single time it would blue screen, it only blue screened for like a single second, 2 at most, and then it would like completely restart. So I'm like, I know that there's an error code, I just can't catch it. So then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit at my PC with my camera up so I can take the picture the moment it starts blue screening. And that started hitting me with a new blue screen, where instead of giving me an error code, it just said that Windows didn't load properly. So I'm like, and so I was like, that's not good. And I was like, you know what, maybe I can just take it into Best Buy, and then everything will be awesome. They'll take a look at it, they'll fix it, everything will be hunky-dory. So I take it in, explain all the issues that I'm having. Everything will be hunky-dory. Let me mute so I take it that really quick. Again, I'm still just getting links. And so I take it in, which is a pain, because it's a big PC. It's a huge case. Like, there's so much empty room in it, which is like, you know, to help keep things like cool and open and everything. So the case itself is huge, and it's very empty on the inside. But the case is also very heavy, so it's kind of a little bit of a pain. But that's fine, I guess. So I take it in, and they plug it in to take a look at it, and it runs so good. It runs perfectly fine. And I look at it like, you little traitor. I've been struggling with you for like a few months at this point, and then as soon as I take you in somewhere, you're like, uh-oh, I'm gonna work now. And I'm like, no, we're not doing this. So they explained to me at Best Buy, like, hey, it might be... No, I'm just trying to pull up my profile. There we go. It might be like an issue with the power. Like maybe there's something wrong with your outlets, maybe there's something wrong with your surge protector. How about you like get some stuff, yada yada, do that instead of having to like pay us to like run diagnostics, because that's really expensive. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds like a good plan. So I get a new surge protector, and I even like get help, and I change out all the outlets in my house. Not all of them, but like the ones that I like plug my like PCs into and everything like that. Hang on, this... Yeah, this is working correctly. Okay. Oh no, hang on. Open link in our tab, there we go. And then... Oh, hang on. I need to get this link again. And so then I get like the outlets all changed out, then I work with getting the new surge protector put in, and I plug everything in, and nothing's changed. Nothing at all has changed on my end whatsoever. And I'm like, cool, awesome, okay, what do I do? And so then I was like, you know what? My PC is on the last, like, the final outlet on, like, the circuit, essentially. So I'm like, you know what if I plug it in to a different one? What if I have one across the room from me? I'm like, that one is the third to last. So if it is a power issue, which again, they explained it could be, then this might fix it. And I just might have to move my desk over there, which is hardly an issue. It has wheels, so I can move it, and it's really nice, and I like it. But yeah, no, I can just move it. Everything will be back to normal. We'll love it. And so then I plug it in to the one across the way. It's some little sparks go, and this, this is my fault. I plugged it into the wall without the surge protector on. It's entirely my fault. I'm so stupid. I was just like, it's just gonna be a really quick little thing. I'll just plug it in, turn it on, see how it works. As soon as I plug it in, it sparks. Thankfully, doesn't damage my thing too bad, my PC, but it fried both of the monitors I had plugged into it. So I'm like, oh no. Hang on. OMG, it's the fabled next week stream. I thought I'd never see the day. Listen. I don't know what to tell you. I was about to, I started this off explaining like, hey, it's not my fault. It's been technical issues. But then I also got to the point in the story where it's entirely, objectively my fault that this happened, because I fried both of my monitors, so I had nothing to stream on. So you know what? It's really no one's fault but my own. Granted, the blue screening issues, that's not my fault, as far as I'm aware. I've been in contact with people and they're like, no. That's like some Windows update that's like messing with your drivers, and the only way to fix it is to reset everything. So I'm like, well, I can't do that because I have way too many things on that computer that I'm working on. So I have to finish a lot of projects on there before I can reset anything, because it's like terabytes of data and everything that I have nowhere to put until I'm done with it. So then we've just been waiting until I could buy new monitors and get them here so that I can start streaming. And I'm only on one monitor right now. So I have YouTube and Twitch pulled up on my phone and on a tablet so that I can monitor everything. And that's also why things aren't working. Like Tracy, you may notice your comment isn't on the chat. And yeah, that's because I've been spending all day today. No, not all day today. That's a little dramatic. All day since work. So the past like 3-4 hours trying to reset everything back up. And I was like, it's like almost 10 p.m. I'm just going to start streaming because you know what? I just want to. I want to get back into it. So I don't have everything set up yet. I have the bare necessities right now. So that's the plan. So yeah, no. There's just been a lot of technical issues. Some caused by me, some caused by fate. Again, I'm just thankful that we got the epic streams up, and then all the blue screenings of death started like a few days after that. So thankfully we could do that. But yeah, no, I gave up on fixing my other PC and moved everything over to my work PC. So for the next little while, I was thinking like, hey man, we'll eventually get back to like Spider-Man or Genshin Impact, and no, that's not happening. No, that's not. We're gonna be playing some like low-key games. Like I think tomorrow we're either gonna play Undertale or Stardew Valley, because I've never played either of those and I really want to, and they're very low intensity games that my PC can handle while also running VTube Studio, because again, we're on my work computer right now, which is not the strongest thing ever. So it do be 9 p.m. I just got home, Lamau. Yeah, no, for me it's 10 p.m. I finished work a couple hours ago and I've just been working on this. Literally, for the past I think hour, since 9 p.m. my time, I sit down, I'm like, oh, I think I'm ready, and then I move over to hit the start streaming button. I'm like, oh wait, no, I forgot this, and then I have to get up and like do some other things. Then I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't have anything ready. I gotta do this thing now. So it's been a lot of that, and that's one of the reasons I didn't want to like move everything over, because I'm like, it's just a big old hassle, especially when I do eventually fix it and get. Granted, at this point where I've been told I have to reset everything, I'm like, well, I'll have to reset everything on my other PC anyways. So it's like, I want to get back to streaming. I'm just going to move everything over, even if I have to do it in like little chunks. Like I don't even have the just chatting screen set up yet. I have it all moved over so I can do that, but I just haven't set it up yet. Dang it, Type Moon. I knew fate was guilty. Yeah, listen. Fate just decided that I couldn't do this, all right? I just needed a big ol' stretch right there, because I've been sitting in front of this computer for about 12 hours now, and I needed that stretch. So yeah, no, it's just been computers die when they're killed. So true. In the wise words of Shiro Emiya, computer whiz, computers do die when they're killed. And mine was, to be fair, it wasn't my computer that was killed, but my walls did execute my monitors. So, but my poor little PC is hanging on by a thread. It's there, it's hanging on. Still, it has nothing open. My main PC that should be working flawlessly has nothing running on it, and it's still just chugging so hard. And it's like, that feels so bad. It feels so bad. But yeah, no, eventually I was able to get like everything figured out on like the error codes and everything, and I've got that all sent in. And yeah, even after all that, they're still like, no, listen, there's not much we can do right now until after you have reset your computer and tried that. And I'm like, oh, that's such a pain, because it is probably going to be a few months before I can actually do that, because again, the main thing I'm working on over there is a bunch of videos that I've been like slowly chipping away at, and they are just huge projects in Premiere Pro, and I'm like, I have so many things that I would have to move. It would probably take just as long to move all of them as it would be to edit it down. Restarting the factory settings low-key stopped being a real solution like 15 years ago. Did it really? Because that is all I've been getting told right now. I've gone to like Microsoft support, it's an Ironside computer, I've gone to Ironside, and they're like, yeah, no, this is just, because like the specific error code I'm getting is like your driver overran, like something like that. So like they're like, yeah, no, it's just like some update, it's something with your drivers, and like resetting is the best way to do it. But hearing that restarting to factory setting low-key stopped being a real solution, makes me feel so confident. But yeah, I'm gonna keep looking for other solutions. Next, they'll tell you to defrag the disk. I don't even know what that means. If you can't tell, I'm like such an old man when it comes to technology. Like I have to go get like other people to come over and look at it for me to be like, hey, it's running a little wonky, can you help me with it? Like, I have no idea what anything to do with computers means, and I've tried educating myself for these specific situations, and is the most in one ear out the other thing ever. I know like nothing about computers either, don't worry. At least we're in the same boat. But yeah, no, so it's going to be a little bit. I have a second monitor coming over soon, which will be nice, because then all I need to do at that point is get capture card stuff set up, and we can start playing other games on there, which will be super nice. Because yeah, no, again, right now the only thing we can do is like really like low power games, and I do have a capture card, but this thing's actually dead. But this is no one's fault. It was just a very cheap one that had issues when I first got it because of how cheap it was. It's one that had like a lot of screen tearing in it, and over just like the 2-ish years that I had it, I think I've had it for like over 2 years, the screen tearing has just gotten to the point of like it's just unusable. And I've like been like, I looked up a lot of like how to fix screen tearing, did all those things, and I looked into the capture card itself, and the main complaint with it is it causes screen tearing. So I'm like, okay, I think I just need to move on. This thing, I spent like $20 on it, and I got like 2 years of stuff out of it. So you know what? I think it was money well spent. I upgraded from laptop to PC, and a month later I had the graphics card die. That is awful. At least I like with this computer, like I spent like a year having it be like perfect and pristine and beautiful and everything. But that sounds awful, especially since graphic cards are so expensive. Ever heard of blue screens? Well, I got pink screens and orange screens. I've never heard of that. I feel like that'd be like more terrifying because everyone knows of like the blue screen of death. Everyone knows about it. If my screen just only turned pink or orange, I would just simply think, well, I gotta get rid of this thing. It's done. It's over. So like, did you actually like manage to fix those issues, or like what happened with the graphics card? Did you just like replace it? Because yeah, no, like the technology side of life is so stressful to me because it just right over my head. I don't understand a single bit of it, but like everything I do, like it revolves around it. So it's like, oh no, when something goes wrong, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't get it. I don't know. But yeah. So that, like, long story short, that's why I've been gone, cause my computer was dying, and then I accidentally murdered my monitors. That's the main gist of what I'm getting at. But we are back now for the millionth time. Oh my gosh, I was looking at the last time we did TwoFold just to be like, I haven't streamed this twice, right? Like I've only streamed it the one time. So I was like scrolling back through my streams, and I was like, oh, I streamed TwoFold in like November, and that was only like 6-7 streams ago. Oh, that's not good. I got like so like sad when I was like, I've only streamed like 6 or 7 times over the past like 3 months. But no, we're like actually back this time because I wanted to be back when we did Epic. The past couple times we've done Epic. But now that I'm like, I have everything set up over here and I'm like slowly getting things set up, I'm like, okay, we're back. I'm hoping in saying that this computer also doesn't explode on me. That would be tragic. The graphics card is 7 years old and I got no money to replace it. I just swapped to the default graphics driver. I can run NPG chapters 1 through 4, but 5 is a bit too much for it. Lol. That's so tragic. No. When you started like saying like NPG chapters, I was like, you know, at least you got those visual novels to keep you going. Because you know what? As someone who's been surviving off of pure visual novels for the past like year, they are a blessing. They are a blessing. But it sucks that chapter 5 is too much. Because isn't that the last chapter? I haven't like played National Park Girls. It's coming. It's one of those things that's coming. But isn't chapter 5 the last one? That's so sad to stop right before the end. Yeah, you said next week and then stream something else. Yeah. Listen, you know, I will take full accountability for that. That's entirely my bad. You know, like I like to be fair with it. Like if I'm like it's other people's fault or like other things' faults, I'll be like, you know what? No. It's that, like with my computer, it's like, no, it's not really my fault that I haven't streamed since the last Epic one. It's been blue screening. What am I supposed to do when it like dies after 5 seconds of using it? That's entirely my fault. Hang on, because I want to pull it up. At least with like that, I was like, haha, we'll be back next week. And then we were doing like the Dandelion set games, which, oh, the Dandelion set games were so much fun. Wait, oh my gosh. Because of content, because I had to delete the Vengeance Saga one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was that's so funny. It just went TwoFold, huge break, Dandelion set. Oh wait. Dang, I'm all over the place. Granted, that's just been constant. That's just been constant. With how long of breaks I take between everything's like my brain just shoots all over the place. At least it was a reread. That's so fair. At least it didn't like blue ball you from actually getting the ending if you've already played it before. So that's awesome. Started writing an NPG fanfic, so I needed to analyze speech patterns and stuff. Ooh, I've never actually looked into any fanfic from Studio One. To be fair, I don't read that many fanfics. There's something I've been wanting to get into, but like that sounds like a good time. I still haven't played the You haven't played the Dandelion games? No, those were like, oh my gosh, those were like some of like the most fun I've had streaming. Just period. No, they're so, you gotta give them a try, man. Like, granted, if like your computer can handle it, because yeah, no, you're so right with like not having like the money to replace that kind of stuff. That's why I like took so long to get back to this, is because I'm like, I kind of need to have the money to get a new monitor. So like, it's been a little while of just getting that. I really want to play them, but I don't know if the PC can handle them. That's so fair. If they can, couldn't recommend them more, because like they're just so fun. Like, I don't think I like it's like playing the first like couple, because like, how do I explain this? The three of them are like a little bit like more like goofy and silly, also being like heartfelt inside, and like the entire time I was just sitting there with a huge smile on my face while playing three of them. And then I got so into the last one that we played that I almost missed a work party that I was required to go to because I just got into it and completely lost track of time itself. They're so good. So yeah, no, if you can get it working, super recommend it, because they are awesome. But dude, I'm so bad at the whole next week we'll do X, Y, and Z, because yeah, no, looking at it's like, next week, and then I did Epic, and then the Headwell Lost, and then the Dandelion set, and then more Epic, and then more Epic, and then more Epic, and then and then we're here. Was Upward Rain? Upward's Rain is like I feel like what's a good way to put it? Isn't like the super serious one. It's one that has like serious aspects to it, but the one it's On Wings Bringing Sleep. That's like the more serious one. And like, dude, I just got so into it because I just love like that kind of like tone, and like the setting was so interesting. I got too into it. But all of those, like, again, like all four of those are like up there as like probably my favorite streams we've ever done, because they're so good. Listen, if you need me to like put down the names of all of them, I absolutely will, because they're freaking great. Like, I was sitting there like looking at them like, I kind of want to replay them all again already, like probably like on my own, just because like we've already done them on here. But I'm like, but they're so fun. Like, the takeaway like we had at like the end of all those streams was like, dang, this was incredible. I want an entire game like this that goes on for hours and hours and hours, because they're so good. That was the takeaway every time. So yeah, I know where to find them. It's okay. I'll try to see if I can run them soonish. That sweet. And if you can't, that's like so understandable. It's like so not your fault that you can't, because technology just sucks. It's the most like, you can't live without it, but it just causes so many problems in your life. Like, again, like this computer, it was a blessing. It was amazing. I loved it. And then it's turned into like the biggest stress in my life for the past couple of months, so it's not been fun. I'm currently injured, so I don't want to stand up to use the PC too much. That's so fair. I'm so sorry to hear that you're injured, though. That really sucks. Like, if you don't mind, like, what happened? Because like that, especially if it's stopping you from doing stuff like playing stuff on your PC, that's rough. Because like for me, like I've been like injured over the past year, essentially like constantly, but it's never been like I can stand and like move about my house as I need to. So like I kind of like, I get like being injured like that is pretty rough when it's like very limiting to you. And then I think I'm gonna take a swig of water, and then we're probably gonna be jumping into the game here in a few minutes, just because it's late. It's really late. I was wanting to start stream at like probably around like 7:30, 8ish, and then it just turned into the whole, oh, I have like one more thing to take care of before you can get started. Oh, I have one more thing to take care of before you get started. That thing over and over and over. But I would like to reiterate, we are fully back again. Nothing too serious, I hope. I sprained my Achilles heel, so walking hurts like hell, but I walk to school daily, so I kind of have to power through the pain. As ooh, no, that's so bad, because one of the issues that I'm dealing with is that like doctors can't really figure out what's going on with my legs, and so it's like been like knee pains, stress fractures, and now I've also developed some like Achilles pain, and like it sucks. It's like so, especially like since you have to like walk to school. Oh, Achilles. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even notice. I read Achilles heel, and my brain just like auto-corrected it to heel. So I was like, you know what? Didn't even notice the issue there. But no, like Achilles pain is just awful. So like it's that you have to keep walking on it when everything ever will be like, no, don't do that. Like sucks. So I hope you get like feeling better soon, because like that can be like some kind of serious stuff. So hopefully it's nothing too serious like you said. But yeah, no. For the millionth time, we're officially back. I'm planning to do a stream again tomorrow. Again, either Stardew Valley or Undertale. I haven't fully decided on what we're gonna do, because like with Undertale, it's like, you know, like this big old RPG that people like love, and like, so I'm like, I should probably play that. It's like one of like the most revered games of all time. I should probably eventually play it, and I have it, and it's low power, so I don't need to worry about it murdering my current PC, my work one. So like that'd be really nice. And somehow it's been out for like a decade, and I've completely avoided any and all spoilers on it. Like I only know like 2 things about it, like total. I'm not gonna say them here. I'll save that for like the stream whenever we do it. But then there's also Stardew, which is just kind of like a chill game, and I'm not too into like farming-esque games. Like everything I see about like Stardew Valley, I'm like, it just looks so cozy and fun, and I'm so down for that. So I'm still like deciding on what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something tomorrow for sure. Unless, again, listen, if no one sees or hears from me tomorrow, assume a bus hit me. That's the only explanation for why I'm not here. But you know, if that doesn't happen, then I'll be here. Yeah, it's like a 4-kilometer a day, 8-kilometer on Monday and Wednesday, 10-kilometer if I miss one bus. That sucks. Ignore the smile. Ignore the smile on my face. That is awful. I'm so sorry. Walking 10 kilometers on like on a bad Achilles. Oh, most people don't want to do a 10K on like good legs, so that's really rough. Like I'm still trying to like this is gonna sound awful. My current mentality is like, you know what, my legs have been messed up for like a year, and I want to get back into like healthier shape again, because I got like really out of shape over the course of the last year being injured. So I'm gonna try and walk like about like a couple thousand steps a day, like 6,000-7,000 steps a day. So like not even close to 10K, like a good 3,000-4,000 steps off from that. And it's like, ooh, that's rough. I don't have classes tomorrow, so I can stay up for TwoFold. Listen, it's like, that is awesome. I'm glad, because like I always feel so bad when people are like, yeah, no, I'm like up till like 2 a.m. watching you. I got work in the morning, but I'm here. I'm like, no, please take care of yourself. I'm not worth it. Trust me. Please don't. So as long as you don't have anything going on and you can do it healthfully, that's so awesome to hear. The thing is that I enjoy walking. The world is nerfing me. No, you're so real for that. Because like, I used to get, before I was hurt, I used to get like anywhere from like 12,000 to 15,000 steps in a day, because I just love moving. Like I love being up and active, out and about, and then I get home and I'm like, what things can I work on today? Can I go like mow the lawn? Dude, this is gonna sound to me like the nerdiest thing. Like I used to save Saturdays, like do no cleaning throughout the week, just to do it all on Saturday, and I loved it. I loved getting up, going for a walk, coming home, mowing the lawn, going on a walk, coming home to like do dishes, going on a walk, coming home to do something else. Like I loved it. And then I got hurt, and I'm like, dang, getting in a couple thousand steps a day, that's a lot. But you know, I'm gonna do it, because I've been injured for so long that I'm like, realistically, why is my stuff buzzing at me? Stop it. Realistically, it could get worse. I just don't think I care that much anymore, because it's kind of the same thing with my hands, where it's like, I have like the loose ligament syndrome and everything, and the braces were supposed to fix it, but they're not really. And so it's kind of like, some people don't really recover from it that well, and it seems like I'm one of those people. So I'm just kind of like, I guess I'll just start doing stuff even if it hurts. Like, I'm just not going to overdo it to the point where it causes any more damage. But you know, if it hurts, it hurts, whatever. Current step counter for today is 11.5K. How many am I at right now? Hey, yo, let's go. I'm at almost 9,000. Getting 11.5. That's like all from school. That's crazy. Like when I used to be in school, I thought it was like pretty bad, but that was still only like 7,000 steps from just like the day, just because like I'd have classes on like complete opposite sides of campus and everything like that. So like 11.5k, that's a lot. That's great exercise though. So like as soon as you're uninjured, that's incredible to keep doing. That's so good for you. So today, bleh. Listen. The more I've streamed, the more people have told me that they think I'm dyslexic. And I think that me reading your chats is kind of just proving that point, because I didn't even notice that you wrote today instead of today. So you're all good. Listen, if you misspell something here, don't worry about it. Chances are I didn't notice. And I'm also just gonna, I have my watch, it keeps buzzing at me for no reason. I'm just gonna toss it aside because I don't want it to keep buzzing. anyways. Yeah, I think with all that being said, I think we should just go ahead and jump on into the game. Today is like my most common typo for no good reason. At least that's like fair, though. It's like literally a single letter off, and isn't like the O like right next to the I? Yeah, it's like right next to the I, so that's like so valid. Oh, hang on, I need to keep this open. Hang on. Oh wait, hang on. I'm so stupid. Guys. Tracy, listen, I'm a professional dummy, so I have chat pulled up. I don't have it like on my screen, able for you guys to see like on OBS and everything and on the stream, but I have a little chat box that comes with OBS that I can see for Twitch that I've been reading from, but this entire time I've had my phone open with Twitch on it so I could read chat as if I just haven't been reading it off of my screen the entire time. Granted, no, never mind. I am smart. It's because when I switch over to the game, I won't be able to see it. So that's valid. Never mind. I'm so smart, guys. I'm so smart. Oh my gosh, look at me go. Also, why do I have a video open? Oh, because I was doing a lot of audio tests. Dude, the audio test today took so long. That's, oh, so many things took so long. Anyways, yeah, no, we are fully back. Also, how does this look? It didn't mess anything up, right? I don't know what it is, but for some reason, streaming without the second monitor is like stressing me, even though it really shouldn't be. The classic double chat moment. Yeah, no, for real. Because like, again, I have it up in like 3 places, like before I like moved over to the game. Granted, I say move over to the game, you guys didn't notice at all. I just had OBS pulled up so I could read stuff and like have everything ready. But I had it up in 3 places. I'm like, I don't need all these chats. And then as soon as I went to close, I'm like, no, I need all these chats. Tip, click to rename the page. Wait, I can rename this page? Oh, I don't know what I want to name this. But that little stylus is so cute. I love everything about the presentation in like this and First Snow is so good. But yeah, no, finally, after 3 months, we're going to continue playing TwoFold, which hopefully I'm going to make 0 promises. But I hope to be able to do this every Wednesday until we're done with it. Is it just me or is the game zoomed in? Is it? Hang on. Let me look at it. I have it full screened. Hang on. You might be cooking. You might be onto something there. Let me... Yeah, no, you're so right. What is going on? OBS, you beautiful bastard, you. Yeah, it looks a little cut off. You're so right for that, and thank you for pointing that out. Because as soon as I moved over, I wouldn't have noticed that. Why? No, chat, please. Game, thank you. Why is it cut off? What? Wait, this has never been how this works. What? This has never been how this has worked before. Hang on. Let's... Why are you doing this? Wait, that's so cool, though. So before, like, how this used to work is, like... I just had, like, all these up as, like, separate assets, and that's why I'd have it up now. And then this was just, like, I would just put the screen somewhere, put the frame around it, and that was kind of it. It's never been like this, where... Hang on. I think I might know how to fix it. I think I know what's going on. I need to move the game above there. There we go. That's how we do it. There we go. Now let's just go ahead and move it back into the frame. If it fits. If it doesn't fit, I'll just get rid of the frame. I don't think this is gonna fit. But thank you for pointing that out. That's so funny that I just didn't notice that. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna fit in the frame. So we're just gonna go, bloop. There we go. Frame, gone. And then we're just going to move it up there. It looks like, hang on. I'm gonna just one more little thing, a majigger on it. Plus effects. Where's the thing that I want? Yes. Because I want to get rid of the little black bars on this side. Because it doesn't look gray like that. There we go. And then on the other side, really quick. You know, it is fun. Like, I don't know what changes, because like I have all the games set to like the same aspect ratio and everything. How does that look? Good, I think. So I don't know why like some things do and don't fit into the frame, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, no. Hang on. I'm gonna move it just up a little bit more. There we go. How's it looking now? Do we think it looks good? Hang on. I want to make it a little bit bigger. Whoop. Whoop. And then... There we go. Looks good? Yep. Sweet. Sweet. I'm so glad you caught that at the beginning, because I think I've brought this up in like every stream since the first TwoFold one, but the fact that I didn't catch that the game audio wasn't recording or being streamed for the first like, I think like hour of that, it's just the thing, it's the only thing from streaming that's lived rent-free in my head ever since it happened, and I was like, no. So like, thank you for making sure that the second TwoFold stream didn't also have something terrible happen in it. I appreciate that. But yeah, now we're finally back in it. Also, no, turn off auto. Why can I not? Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. Auto is just being weird. Anyways, so, okay, now we are back into it. What happened in the last one? Because I want to do like a little bit of like kind of like a refresher for everyone. Basically, last time was just kind of like the intro of the game. We got introduced to like Millie, Caprice, the clubs. Oh my gosh, I'm looking up at her right now. She was on one of my shelves. I'm forgetting her name. Haley, best girl Haley. We got introduced like her. We got introduced like both the art and the writing club, and we picked to be a part of the writing club because I was like, I don't know Millie too well because like she wasn't obviously in the last game too much. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that one first, just like to get to know her better, because Caprice had a lot of time in First Note to like get introduced, and like for us to get to know her and all that stuff. So like, let's do the Millie route first, and that's kind of the main gist of it. So yeah, yay Haley. Yes, Haley is the best girl. As soon as like I was like looking around on like the Studio Lane website like so long ago, and I was like, that Haley standee is just calling my name. I kind of need to grab that. So I did, because she's the best. And the fact that she doesn't have a route makes me sad. But that, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Listen, we just need to have like all the characters need a route in it. That's how I always feel about these games. But you know, that's probably just too much to ask for. So, but no, Haley's the best. More Haley content is how I convinced you to do the Oh my gosh, you're so right. Because I was sitting there, we were talking about it for so long of like, what route do we want to do? And then you brought up the fact that Haley is more in the Millie route, and I was like, dang, you're so smart and right. I gotta get into this route then. Listen, I'm a simple guy. I see a girl I like and then I go for it. You know what I mean? So you're so right. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, so now we can get started. Somehow it feels like an even steeper slope to climb than all the other stresses in my life right now. To my side, a couple plastic... Oh, we can get out of this now. Wop. Wait, no. I bet to click back. Oh, I'm such a good streamer, guys, if you can't tell. Wop, there we go. It's not often that I get the chance to cook for others outside of work, though my motivations aren't exactly pure. If Millie's optimism can't get people interested in the club, then maybe outright bribery will. That's so base. Oh, let's go, Olive. Coming to the door, I can already hear Millie's muffled lecturing. Taking a breath to summon what little energy I have at this time of day, I take the door handle in hand and swing it open. Millie moves to welcome me in, but she trails off in confusion as her gaze falls to the bag by my side. Tanya beams a grin with an arm around the back of her chair, contrasting to the stiff and overly formal Darren. Heather is not here. It's not the first time she's outright skipped, so not the biggest surprise. With a cursory greeting, I drop the bag onto the table and roll down the sides, plucking out several large plastic containers and popping open their lids. The sweet smell rises from the food, despite having been baked in the morning. I could go for a muffin so hard right now. And then I look down at chat, and it's just muffin. Muffin. I'm so glad that we're on the same page with this. Because ever since the muffins were shown, I'm like, a muffin would hit so hard right now. Everyone gathers around, their eyes sparkling as I finish unpacking the rest of my morning's efforts. If they took half as much interest in the club as they did this, we'd be in business.
Olive, what?
To be fair, Olive, there are a few things that motivate people more than, like, free food. So, like, you can't judge them too harshly.
Did you get lost on the way to the baking club or something?
Says the woman in her mechanic jumpsuit. Cooking and baking is a bit of a hobby, so I just figured I'd bring some stuff in is all.
Well, no complaints here.
Take what you like. I didn't bring these in for show and tell. Just have them while you're riding or whatever.
I hope I don't sound ungrateful for asking, but what's the occasion?
Well, you know...
I have no idea how to word this in a way that isn't tinged with pessimism.
The club's had a rough start this semester. I figured something like this might improve the mood a bit and get people motivated is all.
I can't tell if this is a moment for that much honesty. I think just being like, what can I say? I just wanted to get some muffins for the club. Like, you know what? That's probably all you need to say there. Didn't have dinner today because I was in class. The muffin is calling me. No, you gotta take care of yourself. Get something to eat, please. Listen, it's just granted. Well, granted, it sort of depends, cause like, oh, water's so good. If it is like late, you know, like we've talked about, it's not the best thing to eat when it's super duper late. But if you haven't eaten at all for dinner, then I don't know. I can't. It's my bedtime. I can't mess up my internal clock. Well, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. Like, if it is like that late and you haven't eaten yet, it's probably not the best idea to actually eat. But it's like, it's sort of like the weighing of like one thing against the other of like throwing off your internal clock, and it's not good to be digesting food while you're sleeping because it's like harder on your body and all that stuff, versus like having dinner. So it's like you kind of got to weigh the pros versus the cons. So, you know, that's fair. That's fair. Thankfully, it looks like that answer is more than acceptable, as Millie's initial shock melts into a smile.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
It's not the first time I've seen her smiling, but something about it this time, combined with her tone, feels considerably more genuine than before. The sincerity of it is enough to make me look away before I start blushing. With no need for further prompting, the feeding frenzy begins as multiple hands dive in at once for this treat or that, with a single chocolate-flavored muffin rescued for myself. Heading to my usual desk to get back into Millie's editing notes, I turn around to see the club members chatting away between themselves. Millie delicately tries to catch the crumbs with a hand below her chin, while Darren's technique consists mostly of taking small nibbles of it at a time. Tanya, meanwhile, shows no such restraint. I was hoping people would take my while you're writing suggestion to heart, but the club ended up looking more like a party instead. At least Millie seems to be happy chatting away, so I'm calling it a small victory. Maybe I should make the most of the social atmosphere, especially since I'm going to be around these people for a while yet. What do I do? Data. Save. Whoop. Approach Tanya, reach out to Darren. Hang on. Couldn't hurt to get closer to Millie's friends. It's been a while, it'd be good to catch up. Part of me doesn't want to bother, but I kind of... Is it mean? Okay, hang on, what's your vote? What's your vote? Because I think right now I'm leaning towards approach Tanya, just because I'm like, we already know Darren. We knew them when we were younger and everything like that. So like it would be good to like catch up with them, but I'm also curious to like learn more about like people we don't know too well. Darren 100%. I like that as you say that. I'm saying they're like, yeah, I kind of don't want to like do like here's like my reasons for not doing Darren. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I care that much about asking about Heather, because she's kind of like one of those characters like the mean girls, and like I love that like kind of character. Like they're great. But I don't know if I care that much when she's not here. I don't really care to ask about her, so I'm kind of curious about asking about like approaching Tanya, because we just don't know them that well. Oh wait, what I want to see like how all these things change. I love that. I love that so much that they all change depending on like who you're talking to. That's awesome. So yeah, we're gonna approach Tanya. Granted, again, that's also why I do the saves there, so once we're done with the game, then we can go back and, like, pick the other options, just because I love seeing everything that we can in a visual novel. On second glance, it appears Tanya has inhaled most of her first muffin, chocolate chip by the looks of it, drawing a questioning look from her friend as I walk over.
Why? I skipped lunch today.
Didn't your mother tell you not to talk with your mouth full?
Good thing my mother isn't here right now, huh?
You could at least chew it before trying to shove it down your throat. I guess I should take it as a compliment.
You work at a diner, right, Olive? I'm surprised to hear you've picked up cooking as a hobby outside of that.
Cooking at home is an entirely different experience than working the menu at the diner. So I don't really feel the burnout you might expect.
It's good you found something you like so much. A lot of people struggle to find that kind of niche in life.
That's a surprisingly positive spin on just doing something because it's all I really know. I think Olive's just like internal monologue is just, it's just too relatable, because that's entirely like how I was taking what they were saying of like, I feel like that's just what they're saying here is like, just they do it because it's what they know. And then Millie's like, yeah, no, like that's such a good way of looking at stuff. And I'm like, ah, Millie, your positivity knows no bounds. That's incredible. Valid option. You really can't go wrong with any. That's what I figured. Like with Heather, like that when I was saying like I don't really care that much, I'm like, I know it'll be like an interesting answer anyways, but it's just like the one that I care about the least essentially. I also did Tanya on my first playthrough. Listen, you look at her and you're just like, I need to know more about her, you know? Olive is so really, yeah, exactly. They're just so real. Because again, that's kind of like another thing I think we talked about with choosing Millie's route, is I'm more curious to like to get to know these people on like on more of like a surface level before start like diving more into them. So that's where I was like, you know what, Tanya is like the good choice, because like looking at like everything we know about them, we know like nothing. So like let's get to know them more. For all I admire that kind of outlook, I can't help but wonder where it's truly gotten her. The contrast of the perfectly organized room to the club members latching on to the first distraction they found couldn't be clearer. Thinking better of outright saying that, I decided to address something I'd been noticing for a while.
Hey, speaking of interests and hobbies, what's with the get-up anyway, Tanya? I'm just realizing I never asked.
Tanya looks down, her well-used overalls ill-fitting compared to the otherwise smart clothes of the rest.
Oh, these? I have a welding class just before the club meets. Not much point changing out of them, so I just chuck the welding gear in the truck and hop back over.
Weren't you wearing them during the bookstore visit?
Listen. This is a visual novel. We only have so many outfits, okay? We don't have that many sprites to work with. Don't judge her. That's also why I chose Millie route first. Honestly, I saw so much Caprice talk in the server, but not any Millie talk. So I was just curious about her. That's so fair. Cause like, that's also kind of how it was whenever I like seen anything about this. Cause I avoid spoilers like the plague. But like, it was like impossible to avoid seeing people talking about Capri. So I'm like, I know nothing about Millie. Not only was she like in the first game less, people just don't talk about her as much. And so it's like, yeah, I'm also partially here for Haley. But it's like, but I also really want to get to know Millie more because I know so little.
It's a matter of efficiency.
See, Tanya agrees with me too. Exactly what I said.
Huh.
Always liked fiddling with metal and mechanical stuff back home, so I ended up taking all the relevant courses I could.
You two sure are different.
Maybe not as much as you think.
Been a set since high school. Met as the only two girls in the auto shop class.
It's easy to imagine Tanya getting sucked into the engine of a car with this tool or that as she fiddles under the hood, but Millie's a surprise. My face must say as much, given Millie's sudden sheepishness.
I have my reasons. Besides, it's nice to get my head out of books sometimes.
Huh? When she said she'd been working on her car with her dad, I guess I didn't imagine it quite so hands-on. What did you think that meant? Because there's only so many ways that you could take that. I guess, like, they thought, like, Millie was just kind of, like, standing back and, like, watching, I guess. But, like, granted, that's not fair because Millie also did work on the car in First No, so I kind of already had that assumption. So, like, maybe that's a little unfair. With her first muffin devoured, Tanya goes back for seconds as Millie continues to occasionally nibble at her first. She seems to like them just as much, enjoying them in her own dainty way.
There's quite a lot of food here. Why'd you make so many different flavors?
Didn't know what you guys would like. Besides, muffins are easy because you can throw in whatever's handy for flavoring. Chocolate chips, cocoa, fruits, that sort of thing.
The others seem to like them too. It's good to see everyone chatting like this.
All two of them. You know, the more Millie talks about, like, or the more we, like, learn about the writing club, it does just kind of make me sad, because the art club's, like, yeah, like, there's, like, some tension between some of the members, but, like, for the most part, like, they're all friends, essentially, whereas, like, here it's kind of like, yeah, you have Tanya and Millie, and then that's kind of like it. Everyone else is like either strangers, or they don't show up, or they're just Heather in general. And so it's kind of like, it's just not as functional or as like a good as like an atmosphere as like Millie probably would want. Maybe they thought she just handed over the tools. Yeah, like the classic like dad situation of like, you know, like trying to fix the sink or the car, and it's like, hey, can you hand me this wrench? Can you hold the flashlight? That kind of thing. That's fair. That's fair. All two of them.
Have to admit, it's different than when you do it for a job. After a while, you forget how nice it is to watch people enjoy the food you've made for them, and having a good time while eating together.
That's so true. Listen, I used to work in a kitchen at a little amusement park, and for the first little while, I really enjoyed cooking there because I'm like, it's just like such a nice, peaceful, relaxing thing. And then as I started getting busier and busier, people turn into feral animals when it comes to their food. And so it's like, oh gosh, this is the worst thing ever. But then you make anything for anyone outside of like a work situation where they don't have to pay money for it, and it's so awesome to see them enjoy it. So it's like such a different experience. It's so awful working in food, and I have so much like empathy, sympathy for like everyone who does it, because it's just such an unforgiving business. It isn't long before Darren says his goodbyes, pushing the last chunk of muffin into his mouth with his thumb on the way out. As Tanya sees him off, she looks back.
So, the big question. Who gets the rest?
Yeah, the most important thing. I like that Tanya has her head on right. We ended up getting through about half of them by the looks of it, even with Darren and Tanya's appetites not quite being up to task. I do appreciate Millie looking to me first for an answer.
I can make more anytime. You guys decide between yourselves.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Going by how fast Millie agrees and takes a position, this must be a normal way of sorting out disagreements between the two. Their faces look oddly scary given how low stakes this is. Without a word of communication, they begin, the rounds apparently being best 2 of 3, going by so fast that I can barely keep track. Graceful in victory, winning the final round with paper to Tanya's rock, Millie silently grins ear to ear as Tanya sighs.
Such is life. See you guys later.
A sulking Tanya wanders out while scratching her head, Millie waving her off as she goes.
I'm all right to clean up by myself. You can go if you want.
I feel like that tone implies otherwise. The art club is just awesome lesbian couple with the evil and intimidating horse Wallace. No, that's so true. Which is funny, because as soon as you actually get to know Wallace, he's like... he's just the chillest guy. Like, I think I've described him that way every single time we've ever talked about Wallace. He's just the chillest guy. Like, he looks and he sounds like he could, like, it's to be so intimidating. And then you get to know him and he's like, you're just like a big old softie. Oh my gosh, stop. Oh, Wallace is like the unsung hero of these visual novels. Again, just like Millie, I've heard about, like, you know, like a lot of the other characters in this, but Wallace was such a genuine surprise going into First No and then into this. I love him so much, and I'm like, I want to get to know that guy more. I want, like, he's like the type of person I'm like, I would not mind hanging out with you in real life because you're just a vibe. I love Wallace. So, oh, he's great. But yeah, no, it is funny because, like, calling him an intimidating horse, that's so valid. That's valid until you get to know him, which is just such a classic archetype of, like, big guy who's just the sweetest dude ever, which is like, chef's kiss, appreciated greatly. Favorite Studio Lawn / Bell House Mel character by a mile. I'd love to be his friend. See, I would agree, but Mr. Kim, like, he makes my heart happy. Mr. Kim from Please Be Happy. Like, I like dedicated, when I was doing like the Let's Play of it, I dedicated like a full, like, I think it was the second to last episode just called like this Mr. Kim special or something like that, like, or special episode Mr. Kim, just dedicated to his story. Cause like I kind of ignored it while doing my first like playthrough. Cause like I was like, oh, I want to like do more stuff with like Tommy. Cause like his story is like very interesting. I'm like, yeah, more of his like parents and everything. And then I was like, I went back to do Mr. Kim stuff and I was like, nah, this guy right here, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. So it's definitely like a toss-up between the two for me, but it is like very neck and neck. Mr. Kim is awesome too. Maybe it's just because I'm still in college that I kind of connect with the college student. No, that's absolutely fair. Especially because like they do such a good job of like capturing like the vibes and like how you're feeling in college, that whenever the characters are talking about it, you're just like, I get that. I relate. Listen, I dropped out for a reason because college kind of sucks, and you're capturing like the sort of like vibes of people like just struggling through it, just struggling to get by. And I'm like, I appreciate that so much. So that's super fair. Cause yeah, no, again, for me, it's like very, very close. But granted, Wallace also has an entire visual novel that I haven't read yet, so it'll probably go up above. So that's like, there's also that.
Thanks. Sorry for turning the meeting into well, this.
You hardly need to apologize. It's nice to see everyone enjoying themselves in the club. I really appreciate this, Olive.
You're only saying that because you ended up with all the leftovers.
I deserve that pouting. By the time I'm finally out the door, sunset's already rolled in. Given that riding in the dark makes me nervous, I start on the path of the bike rack with no detours. Yes, let's go! Let's go! I was like, no, someone's got to be approaching them. Someone's got to be coming up. And I was like, please, please, let's go. That urgency doesn't last long, with a familiar orange jacket out of the corner of my eye stopping me in my tracks.
Oh, hey.
She has headphones on. What am I even doing? Reaching up to take them off, it looks like Haley noticed me before I could collect myself and pretend nothing happened. Try as I might to get a read on her, I just can't do it. That face of hers is inhumanly placid.
Sup?
She approached me?
Just saying hi. What are you listening to?
She takes the headphones from around her neck and offers them to me without a word. All the more curious, I dutifully take them and after a moment to brush my hair back, hold them to my ears for a quick listen. That's about all the reaction I can muster to the tune. No, that's so awkward. that's so awkward. Of like someone's like, yeah, no, check this tune, and you're just like, oh, okay, all right. Oh, that's. I'm not even sure why I asked. Music is totally out of my usual wheelhouse. Left none the wiser, I give up and pass the headphones back to their owner. The item slung around her neck in a smooth and practiced movement. She quickly picks up on my nonplussed expression.
They're good for tuning things out, at least.
What do you think about when you're alone in those headphones?
Oh, we're getting so deep. We're getting to the deep questions. Oh my gosh.
Stuff. This and that.
It's such a deep response. Thank you, Haley. Tell me more. She just shrugs, as much to me as her own inability to give a meaningful answer. Olive, stop. No, that meant so much to me.
So, I hear you're in the writing club now.
Apparently so.
Yeah, apparently.
This is the best conversation ever penned. People react like that when I share. They assume I listen to normal Mexican stuff and then I blast them with prog metal now. They respond to that with like just a I feel like that wouldn't be the reaction if they're like surprised by that, you know? But you know, I guess that makes sense. Also, hi Haley. I'm glad that we can come together and to appreciate Haley. You know, I'm glad that we can both have that in common right now.
Well, now that you're officially part of this, try not to worry much about the arguments between those two. If either of them give you any trouble, just give me a yell.
Thank you, will do.
It's not really a big deal. Sometimes people just don't get along.
As she goes silent, I find myself wondering if she agrees, or if I've said something wrong. I have a feeling I'm going to be left wondering too.
I assume you're not following us home?
Sorry?
Considering you stopped me in front of Millie's car.
As Haley points behind me, all I can do is give an intensely awkward chuckle to try and laugh it off. Not your best moment, Olive.
Oops. Sorry. No, just on my way to pick up my bike.
She doesn't react one way or another, leaving me no indication as to whether or not she accepted that.
Here I was, thinking I'd picked up a stray cat. See you later. Hope the club works out for you.
What a way to refer to somebody. She brings her headphones back over her head, done with our conversation. That's more than fine with me. Getting on my way, my pace a little faster than before to escape the situation. I feel like we got a lot done in that conversation. Haley is so cool. Haley is the best. Listen. She is just the coolest person. I can't agree more. I groan, scribbling out an entire paragraph in frustration before just crumpling the paper in defeat. If it were any other time in my life, I may have accepted the admittedly mediocre work I've been struggling over for the past 3 hours. Unfortunately, I can't, especially not here, where from my spot in the corner of the diner, I can see my mom rushing to and fro to fulfill a giant-to-go order that came in during her lunch break. She practically wrestled me back to the seat when I tried to help her. The very least I should do while I'm here is write a good paper. I thought, but no such luck. I can barely get a full sentence down before second-guessing it. It's supposed to be a simple creative exercise, analyzing 2 short stories and creating our own in the same style.
What does analyze even mean? If he'd said critique, at least I could just complain.
No, don't be the generic YouTube reviewer. No, stop. Listen. Real analyzing and critiquing are not too far off. There's a decent amount of difference, but you know, you're kind of in the right ballpark, just not with the only complaining part.
Is that grumbling I hear?
Also, not that X sound. That I genuinely had to read what was in the box before I was like, what was that sound that Olive just made? Millie peeks over my shoulder for a moment before giggling at my surprise, sliding in the seat across from me. I should be embarrassed at all the drafts scattered about the table. Instead, I barely grimace as she gingerly pushes some of the crumpled papers aside.
I see you have your work cut out for you already, huh?
My torture, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Luckily for you, I'm here to rescue you.
Humming to herself triumphantly, she pulls a tote bag upright, rummaging around the contents inside. She pulls 2 notebooks out with a theatrical ta-da gesture, waving them in front of her face.
Notebooks?
Not just any notebooks. Take a look.
In one hand, a bright pink one labeled Notes is adorned with all manners of sticky notes, bookmarks, and scrap papers sticking out from it. The other is more plain, black without eye-catching material besides a sticker of a cat. Well, now I want to see. Show me the cat picture. Wary, I take the pink one and begin flipping through it. Every page is a neat header, date, and notes from top to bottom. Most of them have works cited sections naming the textbooks and relevant story. In all, it looks like a teacher assistant cheat sheet for the entire class. Detailed, easy to navigate, and even better resource than the textbook. Okay, so, this is gonna make me sound like such a huge nerd. I had so many, like, notebooks, like, ready to go like this. Like, I had, like dates labeled for, like, every single time we had, like, classes and stuff like that. Like sticky notes I had, like, put in them for, like, to, like, help, like, mark things, like, so I can move around the pages better. Like, just getting stuff ready for college. And I even had, like, specific binders to put every single note in. Like, I had a specific binder that that a friend made for me for every single one of my classes so I could keep everything nice, neat, and organized. And then on my first day of class, I was told, no, everything we're doing is on the computer. And I'm like, no, but I put in all of this work to keep all my notes organized. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to type things out. I like having physical things. Oh, it like, the amount, like, my heart, like, you know how the Grinch's heart, like, grew 3 sizes on Christmas? My heart shrank by 3 sizes that day. It hurt so bad. If I ever do a TwoFold fanfic, which I probably will after I'm done with NPG 1, analyzing the writing club script is going to be so insightful. See, I want to, when you're done, granted, I can't do it with the National Park Girls one yet because I haven't read that, so I can't read any fanfics about it. But I'm interested to check out the TwoFold one because, like, trying to, like, pick out, like, how you, like, analyze these characters and, like, how well you, like, do with them and everything, like, your interpretation of them. I'm super interested in, like, seeing more of. Meanwhile, I've been using the same notebook since I started college 5 years ago, Lamau. I still have pages. Oh, see, but, like, that's the thing. I expected, because, like, I took an AP World History class in high school, and in there, everything was, like, all these physical notes, and we took so many. And I had everything, like, organized from, like, specific countries, like, and the dates and everything, like, and then, like, it'd be like, here's like this time period, here's this country, here's this time period, at all the countries, everything. So I was like, ooh, if I could do this good at organizing myself for college, it's gonna be so nice. And then they were just like, no, there's not, like, gonna be, like, any, like, need for, like, notes or anything, and all the stuff that you, like, would need is just gonna be online, so you can just, like, copy it down, like, on, like, a Word document. And it's like, no, please, no. So I can't, like, after 5 years, I can't believe you still have, like, open pages, because, like, granted, you know, I can't believe it, because, again, I just compared it to, like, the world history class that I took, which I took more notes in that one class than I did in, like, 2 straight semesters of college. So it's just like, yeah, that's fair. I still have pretty handwriting, and it's wasted on me because I barely take notes. I just store it all in the old noggin. See, I'm the complete opposite. My handwriting is an embarrassment. You see it, and it looks like a toddler's writing it. But I hand wrote so many notes, and even, like, in, like, those classes where they're like, no, guys, like, we have everything online for you to use, like, or you have your online classes, so, like, we have everything on there. I'm like, no. I have all these notebooks. I'm gonna write down notes. I'm gonna write down notes wherever I can. I barely did, but I did it where I could. And my handwriting is just atrocious. I write with pink ink and draw hearts on the. See, that's like fun though. That's awesome. Great. Like, if I ever try to do anything like that while I'm writing, it would just look like a little smudge. You couldn't tell what was going on at all. And that, granted, most people can't read my handwriting anyway, so they probably wouldn't have any idea, like, that I was even trying to do hearts or anything. So it's like that, but that's just, like, fun to do though. And all, it looks like a teacher's assistant cheat sheet for the entire class. Oh, wait, already read the book.
What? How did you get this?
She made it.
What do you mean?
Which professor did you steal it from? I won't tell.
How dare you? Millie is awesome, and she made this, which I respect her for 1,000%.
You're flattering me. They're my notes from the semester. I took that class already, remember?
No way. My face must portray the accurate amount of awe and a healthy amount of alarm, because she quickly laughs and takes the notebook, closing it.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't bother being so meticulous if it was anything but writing. But since I was running the club, I really wanted them to stand the test of time. I do want them back, but...
She timidly plays with her braid for a moment before looking a bit sheepish.
Well, the class is pretty front-heavy on essay work. You can use them as reference if you ever feel lost or need inspiration.
I don't know what to say.
Say thanks.
Just obviously. Thank you. Really. I owe you.
Please, it's fine.
She pauses as the bell to the restaurant rings, a customer hopping up to the front and collecting their bags upon bags of takeout. As they leave, the smell of fresh pressed paninis and fries follows. This is gonna sound... I don't know how this is gonna make me sound. I've never seen paninis written. And so the amount of panic that just flooded my system as I saw that word, I was like, oh no, what is this? Before I just had to classically sound it out in my brain. It was too much. It was too much alarm. A friend literally just sent a DM saying, I have no inspiration. As Millie said that with... What the hell? Love that. That's awesome. Listen. If they need inspiration, they just gotta find a Millie. Someone to hand out inspiration to them. But I love it when stuff like that happens. The classic example is just saying something as the character saying it, but the fact that your friend DM'd you saying that as Millie said it, that's on a cosmic level. I love that.
Well, actually, if you could cook something for me again, that may be a fair trade. I've been daydreaming about those muffins.
But you took the leftovers. Did you eat them already?
If I pass this next round of papers, I'll make you a full course meal.
It's a deal. You better not fail on purpose to weasel out of it.
If only I had the luxury. Millie scoots back out of the booth, pulling up her tote and adjusting her vest.
Well, I'm off. Junebug needs an oil change. I'll tell your mom you're in good hands.
Sure, take it away. You know my mom?
She gives a smug, sparkling smile and accentuates with a little shrug.
You look like her.
What do you mean? They don't look anything like. Come on, no, what?
And when I came in, she couldn't stop boasting about how proud she is of her kids sitting in the back working non-stop on their college papers.
Based mom. W mom. I sink into my seat, feeling heat rush to my face. From the corner of my eye, I see Millie giving my mom a big wave, who returns it in kind.
Right. Thanks.
You know what? I don't understand the mentality of oh, I hate it that my friends know and like my parents. That's so lame. I do stuff my friends, not all the time, but a decent amount. My friends will do stuff with me and my family, and I love that they get along. I'd be way more embarrassed if they hated each other. That's the worst thing. But if they get along and they like each other, that's awesome. That causes me so much less stress. Wait. Here in Mexico, the main manga publisher company is called Panini Comics, so I'm kind of familiar with it. That is an awesome... I love that name, because obviously it's a saddish thing, but just having that would be for Panini presses, because it's a publishing. That's awesome. I love it. Also, Junebug mentioned. I think I'm blanking on why that's important. Don't judge me, but I'm blanking on why that's important. Hopefully it's just one of those things. As soon as I'm reminded of it, I'll be oh, you're so right. But granted, knowing me, I'll probably be what? No, why?
Oh, you're so dramatic. You should feel lucky to have such a doting mom.
Well, it's more about how openly she'll air out my struggles to strangers. But yeah.
No, if that's your complaint, that's fair. That's fair. She's also just proud of you, man. She's just proud of you. Millie laughs a bit and shakes her head, taking her leave without further ado. When the bell chimes to signify her exit, I heave a giant sigh and slump entirely into the booth. The second notebook sits across from me at the table, untouched. I drag it over to my side and flip open the first page. A bright pink sticky note immediately catches my eye, so I sit back up straight to read it. Hang in there.
I'll try.
The other pages are filled with mistakes, first drafts, forgotten ideas, paragraphs that forget their meaning halfway through, far from anything I'd seen Millie show in public before. That paragraphs that forget their meaning halfway through, I was talking to someone recently over like some DMs, and I was just like, I'm glad that you understood what I said, because like we were like talking or whatever, and I said like a big old paragraph, and I was like, I'm glad you understood what I said, because I feel like half the time when I'm writing, it's just like a huge monologue that loses itself halfway through, and even I don't understand it by the time I get to the end of it, so I'm glad that other people can understand me sometimes. Wait, oh, it hasn't come up yet? Okay, so don't worry, you have no way of knowing other than guessing right now. Oh, that makes me like simultaneously excited and scared, because when something's like getting mentioned like that, it's either going to be awesome or traumatic or both. So we'll see. I flip open my own notebook and begin my first draft again. A few days later. I walk up through the streets with my plastic bag ruffling away in hand. When I check my phone for directions, I catch the time as well. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm right on time. The paper went well enough, a solid B+, which means I'm off the hook for a meal, which means I'm on the hook for the meal. The opposite of what I said. TwoFold is so pretty, man. No, for real. Like, I think by the time we were like done with like First Snow, all I could talk about outside of just like loving the characters was like everything about the aesthetics of that game is so gorgeous, and that just extends to this game. Like that transitions, like the menus, everything. Like, and then you get like all the background arts, and I'm just like looking at this like, oh, I need that art book. I need to look through it. I want to, but I won't until I'm done with the game, because obviously I want to avoid spoilers. But it's just so, it's so pretty, because it also just has like such like a distinct, unique style. Like I'm not like too versed into like visual novels. It's mostly just like Type Moon stuff, a couple other miscellaneous ones, and like Studio Lawn stuff. But like everything about it, like artistically, is like so its own thing, and it looks so good while doing it. Such pretty art, I want to eat it. You're so real for that. It does look scrumptious, so I get that. Listen. When you can draw a muffin and make me like IRL hungry from that, even though like I've already eaten dinner, that's how you know your art is delicious to look at. Their apartment's quite a hike from my own on foot, but the traffic around here is light, and the nearby buildings look well maintained, if not very modern. I eventually locate the complex entrance and make my way through the gate, finding my way outside their door not long after. I give it a couple quick knocks. A second or two of silence passes before a muffled voice speaks up from inside.
Hello, who is it?
It's just me.
With a click and a shunt, the lock jiggles open, with the door itself following soon after.
Good afternoon, Olive. Come right in.
Oh, I love I don't remember if this is exactly how it was in First Snow, but I love the apartment. The cute little otter holding its fish like that. Oh my gosh. Ignore the fact. Listen. You can never compliment otters without people being like, well, actually, did you know that they're some of the most evil creatures on the planet? It's like, yes, I know, but they're adorable. Leave me alone. I love them. So like, as soon as like that popped up, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, but the apartment's so cute. I didn't read any of that, did I? Wait. I follow the cherry woman as she walks back in, carefully closing the door behind me. Noticing the shoes stacked on the carpet beside the door, I shuffle off my own and nudge them with my feet before continuing on into the small entryway. As I scan the living room, it's clear that things have been hastily tiled up for my arrival, in the same way that a reluctant child might clean their bedroom when told to by their mother. While the floor is mostly clean, clothes have been piled on the backs of seats and peek around bulging cupboard doors. Books, plush animals, magazines, and DVDs all lie where they were last used, and the dining tables become a makeshift study area by the look of things. Listen, here's my like thoughts on like when people are coming over. Yes, it's good to have things like tidy, but like some people take it way too far where it's like, no, everything has to be like completely spotless. It can't look lived in at all. But I'm like, no, as long as it like isn't a disaster area, it's fine. Like so many times I'm over at like a friend's house and they're like, hey, I'm so sorry about the mess right now. And then I walk in and there's like 2 things like on the table and it's like, what are you talking about? This all that shows me is that you live in your house. Oh no, what a shocker. It's so weird. Granted, if you're doing like a huge thing, I understand like needing to get it like really spruced up for that. But if it's just like a few people coming over, it's not a big deal. Like, wait, I've never heard of them being evil. Oh no. Like all I know about otters is that there's one in the penguins. You know what? That's not a bad one. She, as far as I remember, she was pretty sick. So like, listen, never. I don't want to burst your bubble on this. I've ruined some animals for people before or made like things worse. So please don't look up anything about what I said about otters. Please just spare yourself and just leave it at that. My room is organized, but it's not tidy. Everything is a coat of dust. No, like see that's like I feel like that's like fair, you know? Like as long as it's not like a disaster area, it's fine. So like having like dust on stuff, that's like totally fine. Like you have your stuff organized because like you live there. You don't need everything like put away at all times. It's okay to have a couple things out because that's like kind of how I do it. Like if you walked in like my bedroom, I have like, I don't know, I think I have like a few pieces of like clothing on the floor and like that's kind of it. So I like if someone came over to my house, I wouldn't be like, I'm so sorry about the mess. As they see like the single t-shirt on the carpet, I'd be like, oh, whatever. And then I just like throw it in the dirty clothes basket, like that kind of thing, you know? Because it's so fine. But no, so there's one time I was talking with one of my coworkers when I used to work at a hotel, and when I'm working at the hotel, like all we do all day is just yap at each other while we're cleaning, because it's like it's so like not like a mentally taxing job, so you just talk the entire time. And this girl, she was telling me about how she's afraid of ladybugs, and I, you know, you hear someone say that they're afraid of ladybugs, and like, you know, you have whatever thoughts you have about it. And at the time I was like, oh yeah, like it also like freaked me out pretty bad when I learned that they like bit people. Like that's crazy. Like, cause like they're such like cute little things. I didn't think they'd ever bite anyone. And then she looks at me, all the color drains from her face. So she's like, they bite people? And then I immediately realized, hey, listen, maybe when someone says that they're scared of a thing, don't say anything that could possibly make it worse. I felt so genuinely awful after I like told her that, because she was so afraid of them without knowing that they bit people. And like I tried being like, no, well, when they bite people, it's like not that bad. It's just kind of like a tiny little pinch. Didn't help. It was kind of like when like a kid's like, no, I don't want a shot, and you try to tell them like, listen, it'll only hurt for like a second. It's so easy. It's so fine. It just doesn't work on them. And she was not hearing any of it, and I think I ruined her whole day, and I still think about that sometimes. So I feel bad, but it's fine. We move on.
Sorry for the mess.
What did we just talked about this, Millie. Come on.
No, it's nice. Well, aside from...
I trail off as my gaze turns to the kitchenette to my left. Unwashed dishes and glasses sit piled up in and around the sink, and jars of ingredients sit neglected on the counter. It all must have gone bad by now. Listen, this is taking a little bit more out of me. I still don't think you need to apologize for that, Millie. You don't need to do all your chores to get ready for me, but like, throw it. Get rid of the stuff in the jars. You don't need those ingredients anymore, girl. It's fine. I start rubbing the back of my neck as anxiety creeps in. My diner's hygiene and kitchen protocols must have been drilled into me for years. Has affected me more than I thought.
We're not as tidy as we could be.
It's not that unusual, I guess.
I'm surprised how unconvincing I made that sound.
I'll clean up before getting started. I brought some stock and rice, so I should be able to work with whatever else is here.
Thank you so much. If I have one more pack of noodles, it might be the end of me.
I'm glad I came. Nobody should be living solely off ramen. How dare you? That is the college experience. You take that back.
Before you start, at least let me show you around.
Sure, lead the way.
After pointing out this and that from... Oh, I thought we were actually going to get, like, the whole tour of the place. After pointing out this and that from the location of the bathroom to where Haley and Caprice's rooms are, we arrive at Millie's room as she swings open the door.
And this is my bedroom. It's a bit cramped, but you get used to it.
Her bedroom is awesome. What the freak? I love the big old bookshelves with, like, the drawers in it. And then, like, this nice little plush chair. Like, this is the best bedroom ever. Listen, I have like some bookshelves in my room too. They do not look even half as nice as this. Specifically, to be fair, when I was moving into where I live now, one of the bookshelves just kind of fell in half. So like, granted, that one looks kind of shoddy and there's not much I could do about it at that point. Cause like, I don't even know what like really happened with it. We were just moving it, and then the top half just kind of slid off of the bottom half, and like all like the screws and everything that were supposed to go in were like shredded. So I'm like, I think, granted, it was also like so old. It was ancient, almost as old as I am. So I'm like, you know what? I think it was its time. But I still have the bottom half, because when the top half fell off, it just shattered. But I still have the bottom half, so I have that. I have one single bookshelf, and it only has 2 books. The NPG and Without a Voice art books. You know what? Your only books, though, that checks out. I don't have the NPG art book. It's one of the things I want. But the Without a Voice art book, that's some primo stuff right there. All right, that's the good stuff. So that's really all you need. Also, I just noticed the little duck guy up here. I love that. Also, such a big fan of like hanging up lights like this. In my bedroom, I have an entire wall of just fairy lights. And it's so nice, especially since the lights in my room feel like so oppressive, like, but also somehow don't light up the room at all. Like it feels oppressive when you stand right under it, but then as soon as you step away from it, it just doesn't do anything. So the fairy lights just add such a calming, nice mood to any room they're in. It's so good. She's not wrong about the size. Most of the apartment space is being dedicated to the combined living room and kitchen. She made good use of it though. The bookshelf being filled to capacity and a laptop and well-used notebook. That is such a pretty notebook, oh my gosh. A notebook squeezed onto an old table in the corner. It's impressive that she's managed to make such a claustrophobic space feel so homely. A series of books on the shelf next to me catches my eye, and I reach out to take one of the thicker ones. The majority of her books seem to be in this style, being plain hardcovers with titles in gilded cursive, as many being non-fiction as fiction. Also, you can't see it right now. I really like the rock that's behind Olive. It looked really pretty. As Olive looks back to me for a comment, I realize that I probably should have asked first.
Sorry, curiosity got the better of me. I have to admit though, child psych is a pretty niche genre.
Looking back, I had to reread what Olive said there. I was like, wait, what do you mean by that? I was like, oh, child psych,
Looks like
we're fine.
I've been found out.
Hang on. Looking back over this particular space on the shelf, she has quite a few books on the subject. Oh?
I want to write children's books. A lot of people think it's easy, but there's actually a lot of thought behind them.
Huh. When you said you liked writing, I assumed that meant you wanted to be a novelist or something.
I wouldn't mind trying my hand at it, but children's books are where my heart is.
She's so pure. I don't know why, but that just feels like the sweetest like motivation ever. She doesn't want to be like some grand, huge, like epic novelist. She's just like, no, like we gotta get like the kids some good stuff to read. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. I have a chalkboard filled to the brim with merch of my favorite say. Hang on. You have to help me with this. I've never pronounced this word correctly. Is it Seiyu or Seiyu? I'm so bad with it. She's so pretty, and I'm so gay. You know what? That is the appropriate response. That is absolutely 1,000% just the valid response. Meanwhile, me studying psychology to write novels with compelling characters. Listen. Both are super valid. All right. There's nothing wrong with either. Because like so many people I've talked to, like there's like 2 thoughts on it. I've talked to people who are like, no, I really want to study psychology so I can get better at writing people. And then I met other people who look at that motivation and go, nerds. And I'm like, listen, no, it's really cool. Especially when like you hear writers talking about like how they do it and everything. So I'm like, no, that's so valid. But there's just something pure about her being like, no, I want to study child psychology so then I can write good books for them. That's awesome. Especially since most people are just like, well, it's for kids. That means it can be awful. And I'm like, no, kids deserve good stuff too. So it's awesome that she's doing that.
To see a parent reading my books to their child and seeing their faces light up as they learn about the world. It might not be the most glamorous or well-paying career, but I wouldn't care if I knew I'd achieved that.
She's awesome.
Sorry, I'm rambling. We should get started on lunch, shouldn't we?
As I nod, I find myself struck by her conviction. Me and Oliver are just on the same page right now. With the pile of dirty dishes slowly starting to shrink, I manage to make good progress on the washing, while Millie tidies up elsewhere in the apartment, either inspired or embarrassed by me being here. I don't think she'd be embarrassed by you being here. I could probably just shift some things aside and cook right now, but might as well go the whole 9 yards if she's going to as well. The creaking of... is it Haley? Hello? The creaking of the door to the apartment barely reaches my ears past the noise of the running tap. Yes, let's go, let's go! It isn't long before I see who our visitor is, poking her head around the corner. Haley just manages to keep her placid face at the sight of me, taking off her ever-present headphones and setting them around her neck with practiced ease. I'm starting to wonder if she wears them to bed at this rate. Listen, some people do. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone in my major thinks it's weird, but I just don't want to be a psychologist. Why? No. I think it's weird that they think it's weird. I think that that's like such a... Because if you want to like write real... Like people who feel real, like what better way is there to like learn how to do that than learning how the human brain and psychology works? Like when I've heard people like talk about that, I'm just like, yeah, no, that's just like, that just makes sense why you would do that, you know? So it's weird. I think that they're the weird ones for thinking that you're the weird one, you know? Also, hi Haley. Yes, listen, hi Haley, we are here for it.
Hey, Millie! Some weirdo's broken in and is doing our dishes.
Let them finish before calling the cops.
Okay.
Hi, Haley.
Has Millie really stuck you on dishwashing duty?
Technically, I was here to make lunch, but there's no point in making food if there's nothing to put it on.
I'd apologize for the mess, but I assume Millie's beat me to the punch already.
Is it always like this?
We just scavenge whatever's mostly clean till we run out of plates. It's worked out fine for 2 years now.
2 years of living like this? I can't believe I ever had second thoughts about having my life together. Oh, Olive, the most valid and base protagonist ever. So real. Also, I think the thing I like the most about their interactions is that they're both just so flat when talking to other people. And like, most will be like, oh, here's like the super energetic one, and then here's the like the person who's really flat responding to them, or like, you know, vice versa. But they're both just so flat and like monotone about everything. Like, Olive is somehow the most expressive person in this conversation, and Haley is the only person that they beat in that department. And that, I don't know, I just think it's so funny. Damn, bitch, you live like this? Listen, my judgment, I love that I went on a huge diatribe, like, no, like, you're so fine for having, like, little messes. It's not that big a deal. It just shows that you live in your house. Big deal. But then the more that they've delved into this, I've just been slowly being like, dang, I am way cleaner than I thought I was. This is, you know, I'm having the same thing that Olive is, like, dang, suddenly I'm feeling really put together. They're the funniest duo ever. No, for real. Just all their interactions. Again, it's just been gold. It's just been so good so far. As Millie comes in, Haley gives her a quick wave.
Caprice lives here too, right? Am I cooking for 3 or 4?
She's visiting her mom, so it's 3 today.
Millie still comes across as annoyed at the mere mention of her. I guess the rivalry runs pretty deep.
3 it is then. Any allergies?
I'm allergic to greens.
I know so many people who say the exact same things. How am I supposed to tell if she's joking when she uses that deadpan voice? The only hint is Millie's unsurprised sigh. Millie signals the end of lunch as she sets down her fork. Well, I want to know what they made. I want to know what lunch was. Millie signals the end of lunch as she sets her fork down. The curry... Oh, well... Thanks, game. Appreciate it. Let's go. She's allergic to olive. I was having that exact same thought. I was like, is that just a joke about eating green foods, or did you just look at Olive's color scheme and go, haha, greens? I would be surprised if it was a little bit of column A and B on that one, though, so, you know. The curry I made with 400 ingredients, made extra mild at Millie's request, turned out to be a hit with the two. Both of them looking satisfied with their meal.
Thanks again for that. That was amazing compared to what we usually have.
Could have been spicier.
I'll leave the recipe. You can cook some up yourself. That's exactly how you like it. First time in a while I've cooked a meal for people other than myself, so I'm glad it worked out all right.
Isn't that expensive? Living alone and all?
I've always been... what's the best word for it?
Independent.
Cheap?
I liked my word better. I like the way I put it. Better.
Frugal?
No, that one's better.
Let's go with frugal. Only needing to cook for myself saves a lot of time. Plus, I get leftover vegetables and stuff from work that are about to expire and can't be used.
Ah, I do something similar. I save a bit by sometimes visiting bakeries just before they close for the day. They'll usually throw extra food in the bag for you that probably won't sell in time.
No, that's the best way to do it. You go to any like bakery or anything and you're just like, hey guys, like listen, all this food's about to go out of date. Can I just have it? And they'll be like, listen, I'll give you like this entire like thing of bread for like $1, and then yes. And it's like, yes, finally, good deals, good deals. Or like if you ever go to like Walmart, they always have like these shelves of just like about to expire like pastries and stuff. And it's like you can get like a whole cake for $1. It's so bad for you, but it's so good for my wallet. So I love it.
Do you guys actually cook much?
I can cook the basics.
Haley's eyes narrow.
The very basics.
Is that like the whole like, oh, I can do toast kind of thing?
Same. Rice and pasta are easy enough to throw in a pot.
And Caprice?
Caprice is banned from cooking.
I was gonna say, Caprice is either a master chef who just simply chooses to never, or that.
Ever since the egg incident, yes.
Oh. I may want to hear the details, but the looks on their faces make it clear this is ground best left untrodden. Okay. I have a tiny little story about eggs. So I was making eggs on Monday, and I like to make a ton at a time, so just so I can have like stuff in the fridge for leftovers, yada yada yada. So I'm just sitting there cracking away at eggs, and I have the garbage can right next to me just so I can crack it, put them in the pan, throw them away in the garbage. And as I got to this last egg that I was doing for the day, I cracked it, held the egg over the garbage can, and opened it up and just spilled all the egg into the garbage can. And I just had to sit there for a second and my brain tried to reboot as to what I did. Because again, it was just such like a flawless like system of like I just like completely zoned out, crack egg, put it in pan, throw away eggshell, crack egg, put it in pan, throw away eggshells. To just to switch from that to like trying to do it all at the same time of crack egg, put it in the garbage, throw away the eggshells. And I've never felt more embarrassed on my own than doing that. And as someone who simply doesn't like to waste things, like at all, this is not going where you think it would when I say that. I had just put that garbage bag in, so I was like, well, I'm not just gonna take it out just for a single egg being in there. God awful mistake. It smells so bad, but I'm like, no, it's almost full. I could almost take it out. Tomorrow I'll be free. It's the dumbest thing because you get like 1,000 garbage bags whenever you buy them. And so I'm just being so stupid and stubborn about it. But you know, it's whatever. It's whatever. I once knew someone that prepared his eggs in the microwave. That's foul. Like, they cracked it, like put it in like a bowl or something, and then just microwaved that. That is the worst thing I've ever heard when it comes to making eggs. Is this how British people feel when they're like, oh, those silly, dumb Americans microwave their tea? Which I'll add, I don't do. I boil my water. I don't microwave it. Like, that's how that feels. I feel like ashamed for that person to microwave your eggs. That sounds like it would taste awful and not actually work all that well. That's that's awful. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better about like garbaging that egg. So, I appreciate that. Our conversation is interrupted by a simultaneous buzzing from mine and Millie's phones, likely from the writing group chat. It's rare to get any sort of discussion in it, and I've admittedly been pretty bad about checking in myself. Millie, however, reaches for her phone immediately. Just as quickly, a frown forms on her face. Curiosity getting the better of me, I pull my phone out of my pocket to see for myself. Something tells me it's just something like Heather did. I don't know, that's just the vibes. Oh? Hey, sorry, I know that this is last second. I won't be at the next meeting. Is there any reason why? Oh, I love that Millie's picture is her notebook. That's awesome. I need to submit an attendance sheet to faculty soon. Yeah, sorry, just a busy week in general. Can I at least get your signature sometime this week? I don't know. I'll try. Lamau. Since we're giving advance warning this time, I'm out too. Oh, no. The answer's no, by the way, before you ask. What is the snake? Heather, that feels more appropriate. I look up because I'm guessing that Tanya's like the more tan one. I look up from my screen to see Millie slump in her seat. Her phone buzzes again not long after that, the message only making her frown more.
What's up?
It's Tanya.
Is that bad?
She said she'd get some of her friends in her machinist class to sign for Darren and Heather.
Oh, it was Darren. Okay, fair enough. All right. With a long, exasperated sigh, Millie drags herself up, excusing herself to the nearby kitchen to sift through their cupboards.
Bad news?
I feel so bad for Millie, who's just trying her best. And Olive is the only person who's giving any effort back. I feel so bad for her. Haley leans in closer to me, keeping her voice down while she pries.
What do you think?
Oh, so sassy. She doesn't respond to my sarcasm directly, instead opting for one of those shrugs she loves so much.
Welcome to the writing club, I guess.
My head firmly meets the countertop in an over-exaggerated display of frustration. It doesn't last there long, with a sharp clearing of the throat from Millie bringing my eyes back upward.
I keep this bottle hidden away in the back for special occasions. I guess they don't all need to be positive ones. Either of you interested in a glass?
Millie, I'm so sorry. I'd come to your writing club. I would. The rest of them just suck, okay? Granted, like Darren might have a good reason, but that's as far as I'm willing to go. She places a wine bottle and a couple glasses on the counter now that my head is no longer occupying the space.
When'd you get that?
Oh, well,
I'll pass.
I've got a shift tonight, so I better not either.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's more than fair.
The more that this story goes on, the more my heart just like aches in like pain for Millie. Someone in the server pointed out that Heather is just an anagram for hate her. That is awesome. That is so. Is that why like there's like the Heathers musical and like the whole point is like all three of the Heathers in it are just like the worst person, like the worst people ever. That's so funny, especially if like people intentionally have been using that for a long time. That's so good. But like again, like Heather's one of those characters. Like I don't hate her because she's funny, but I do hate that she hurts Millie. I think that's a good way to put it. Mentioning it out loud reminds me to check my phone again to confirm the time. Good thing I did. I stayed a bit longer than I had planned. I take to my feet, pushing my seat in after I'm up.
On that note, I better start making my way home to prepare. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the meal. You're a lifesaver. Really.
No problem. I wouldn't mind doing it again sometime.
Oh, we couldn't.
Sounds like a plan. Looking forward to it.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, no, Haley's gonna be like, no, you're gonna come over and cook more for us.
Haley.
The bickering manages to eke out a smile, eke a smile out of me, despite the last-second downer the club brought to our lunch. With a quick wave and a couple goodbyes, I leave the two to enjoy the rest of their day. All right, and now with that, I'm going to take some sleeping pills just so it gets into my system. I didn't need to say that, but I was like, I'm just too honest sometimes. Also, hang on. I have a story to tell about these as soon as I take them. Oh. So I mentioned it before in I Love You, Haley. Haley is the best. I love Haley so much. Every single time, like, listen, me being like, yeah, let's go, Haley's here. None of that. No, I'm not playing that up. That is how I feel deep in my heart. I love Haley. But like I've mentioned it probably before, but like over the past couple of months, I've had like a huge amount of trouble like getting and staying asleep. So I was like, I need to just get some sleeping pills. So I went and saw a doctor, whatever, got some stuff figured out. And these pills hit me like a truck. They're great. I love them. But the only issue is that I noticed is sometimes when I have like a nightmare or like a really vivid dream that wakes me up despite having the pills in my head, I see things. It's not good. Like there was one time I was having a dream where a bunch of people broke into my house. Which is just one of my biggest fears. It's just like, I don't know why. I think it might be like a phobia of some kind of like just the fear of like people breaking into the house. Like it's the scariest thing ever. If there's ever like a game or movie that involves like home invasions, it just gets me. And so that wakes me up. And as while I'm awake, I see the people moving around my room. Like all the people I saw in my dream who broke into my house. Then there was another dream where I was like in a backyard just full of spiders, and I wake up and I look over on my wall and there's just a huge like tarantula sized spider on it. And then, once I'm like sit up and I'm freaking out and I'm fully awake, all of those things fade away. And I'm like, that's really weird. I'm having like some really vivid hallucinations right now. That's like are there like still like dreams and everything going on? Because like I've had sleep paralysis before, and it feels a lot like that, except I can still move. So I'm like, well, it's not that. So what's going on? And then I noticed, because I do two things to help me sleep. On some nights I take ashwagandha, some nights I take melatonin, other nights I take these other pills, just because I don't want my body to get used to any of them, so that they're still like effective on me. And I noticed that whenever I take these pills before I go to sleep, and like I wake up in the middle of the night, that's when I see things. So I read the bottle, and it says may cause hallucinations. And I'm like, oh god, oh no, that's not good. But at least like, now I know what it's coming from, and they're not like these hallucinations aren't coming from like something else going wrong in my brain. No, it's just the pills. They just cause scary hallucinations to happen, because it's only ever happened like when I have nightmares. Like it's never been like a good dream where I wake up and I like see the things. Oh god, if you're familiar with the Mandela catalog, I die if I live through that. No, I've heard of that, and I haven't looked into it too much, because I know it's just like a big ARG thing, and I've always wanted to. It's just one of those things I've never gotten around to. So like, is that like a big thing with like home invasions? Wait, no, isn't the Mandela catalog like the thing of like you see the people who look like you and they break into your house to like replace you and stuff? Isn't that the Mandela catalog? I feel like that is. Spiders isn't so bad. No, I'm such an arachnophobe. I can't stand spiders. But here's the thing. My fear, I've learned that like in life, when it goes between like fight, flight, and freeze, my body picks fight 100% of the time. If I see a huge spider or a spider of any kind, I'm like, no. Only one of us is leaving this room right now. I'm throwing down with you right now. No matter where you are, I will get you. And that's how I feel about like all things. Like there was like this one time, was at like a a haunted maze, and a guy who was like, it was like a kind of like a closed down haunted maze, like they still let you walk through it, but like none of like the employees were or anything were working at it, and this guy kept like jumping on scaring people, and we just heard people like screaming all around the corn maze, and he comes running at me and one of my friends, and like I was freaking out, but I instinctively like put like a hand out like to push my friend back, and then I went to punch the person, and they had to like be like, no, wait, no, he's just like it's just like a person coming at us, like nothing bad is happening. I'm like, oh yeah, I just hit things that scare me. I'm not, it's probably not a good thing, but you know, it's probably good in some situations. But yeah, no, with spiders, they're like one of my biggest fears. I hate them, especially like the big hairy ones. And so when I wake up and see again a tarantula sized spider, especially since like tarantulas actually live near where I do, like they're like out and about where I live. So like seeing one in the house, whew, hasn't happened yet, but like the fear was there. The fear was real. At least they're honest about it, Labau. Yeah, no. That at least like I don't have to like be fearful or like call anyone to be like, "Hey, why am I seeing things?" They're just super honest about it. Suddenly, I don't want to get back into VTubing. Was a spider VTube? Listen, as long as you don't look like a biblically accurate tarantula, I'd be fine with it. So if you want to and can, I'd be super down for that. I will not. You won't hear any complaints from me. And that's when it turns out your VTubing model is just a picture of a spider, just a real spider. Oh, that scene. No, I could probably never watch that. Like even like the games that have like semi-realistic spiders in them. I can't. Like I've seen like people play like Skyrim, and like there's like a huge spider boss in Skyrim, and I'm like, it doesn't even look real. But the way it moves, the way its face is constructed, it's just too much for me. I can't handle it. It's a Roy, don't you worry. See? So I'd be fine. Okay? We'd be all good. I'd only make like a joke or two about being like, all right, well, time to take care of the spider. You know, something like that. Nothing too bad. But yeah, no, I can't stand spiders. I hate it. It's like to the point of like, if I ever knew anyone who had like a pet tarantula, I'm like, I don't think I can go to your house. I think if we're ever going to be like hanging out and like in each other's presence, we can't be in your home, because I will fist fight your spider. And there's a good chance I'll lose, but I'll go down swinging. All I need is a graphics card. Yeah, that is the thing. VTubing especially is like so taxing on your computer. Like, because like my work computer that we're doing this on right now was like a pretty solid one. Like it's like pretty old at this point. Like when I got it and like was doing content creation on it, I wasn't VTubing at the time, but you know, it could run like OBS and like pretty like intensive games. But then as soon as you like turn on like VTube Studio, it's just like my entire Resident Evil Let's Play, like Resident Evil 4, I mean, it was just either me or the game stuttering. And you know, it was just, but you know, we made it through. We got through that game and I loved it, so we're good. But yeah, no, a graphics card is super needed for VTubing. But money's hard. So that's why like my thought process right now is I'll get things slowly over time. I'm not in any rush to get anything. So oh, okay, I was like, where did we leave off reading? Did I read this part already? Yes. We have not read this part. Walking into the building that houses the school machining shop, I feel a little intimidated. As unassuming as the hallway I find myself in is, a lot of heavy machinery can be easily heard through the thick walls. Compared to the prim and proper science building, our homely and quaint arts and humanities building, the entire place feels rougher. Steeling myself, I take a quick peek in. More like a warehouse than a campus building, the occasional oil stain and grease splotch discolors the concrete floor. The occasional arc of light from the welding area in the back, combined with a loud whirring... I can't pronounce that, that's fine. Of nearby machinery is quick to put me on edge. Kitchens might be dangerous places sometimes, sure, but at least I know what everything in a kitchen does. Also, you don't really need to worry too much about your safety in a kitchen as long as you're just, like, using general common sense. Like, at least that's how I feel. With, like, big old machinery like that, it's like, yeah, no, one of these things could just take your arm off, you know, if you're not careful enough. I channel my inner Darren and close the door without another thought. I'll just try and find Tanya after class. It's not worth trying to navigate that nightmare. I wanted to have more time to talk to her before I had to head off to work, but I'd rather be 5 minutes late than try to talk over all that noise. As soon as I turn around to leave, the door opens from behind me, and out pops a student whose clothes are more oil than cloth.
Hey, did you need anything?
Oh, if you're offering, can you see if Tanya's available to talk for a sec? It's not a big deal if she can't. If you don't know her, she's...
Oh, don't worry, I know. Give me a sec.
And with that, he's retreated back into that machine-ridden hellscape. Thankfully, it's not long before the door opens again, this time with my club mate on the other side. The confusion on her face is replaced with a smile as she comes to realize who pulled her out of class.
Yo, Olive, what brings you here?
Hey, Millie let me know when best to catch you.
Well, here I am. So, what's up?
Just checking what happened. You missed a meeting yesterday.
The grin doesn't leave her face, but her eyebrows do raise at my answer.
You dragged me out of my class early for that?
Sorry. I told the guy it wasn't a big deal and I'd be fine with waiting.
All good. It's 10 minutes till the weekend. Couldn't care less right now.
She somehow managed to find a yawn in her, despite the overwhelming noise she's presumably been in the middle of for the past 2 hours. You should probably talk about how afraid of boobs you are, in case talking about the nightmares manifest them for you. Oh no, you're so right. The entire time I'm going to sleep, I just see you lay there and be like, I'm so afraid of boobs. I'm so afraid of boobs. And just see if it happens. Because if all I'm going to get is nightmares, you know, might as well try to manifest. Oh no, that is the worst part, is that it's only the nightmares. I've had a couple of pleasant dreams, and none of them ever manifest as hallucinations. It's just the ones with spiders. Spiders and people breaking into the houses. Oh.
So, circling back to my first question.
Wait, hang on, did I read that? Yeah, I did. I did. I'm so sorry I interrupted you, Tanya. That you didn't deserve that. So circling back to my first question, what's all this about? Afraid I'm gonna flake out on the club?
I don't know. I feel like you're probably the one most likely to stay. But it's not hard to be paranoid, given the state of everything else.
So you're just doing your due diligence. I getcha. You don't need to worry. I'm in the club for Millie's sake. I'm stuck till she graduates and not a day less. Just wrapped up in coursework I had to get finished off, that's all. I'll make it up to her.
Tanya takes a seat on one of the chairs next to the door, gesturing to the seat next to her. After the long walk over here at the end of the day and dreading the bike ride that's going to be following this, I gladly take up the offer for a rest.
So, what brought you to the club anyway?
I told you before, didn't I? I need the tutoring to pass my exams.
Is that all it was? There were a lot of clubs to choose from, and that little brat was angling for you too.
I can just feel the love for Caprice radiating off of Tanya right now.
I figured my best chance was in a club that was halfway normal.
Whoops.
A bit too on the nose there, Tanya.
I still can't get over how different you and Millie are.
I'm lucky to have made it out of high school alive after some of the stuff I got up to. Maybe hitching myself to a bookworm like her is what helped pull my head in a bit. What about you? I'm sure you got up to some crazy stuff in the springtime of youth.
I'm just gonna say that Olive's answer right now is a big ol' resounding no to that.
I kept my head down, to be honest. I'm not really the adventurous type.
Yeah, I can tell.
My face falls flat, not helped by the hearty clap on the back in response.
Lighten up. We can't all be social butterflies.
The two of us are distracted by the professor shouting from inside the room, clear as day through the door and all the noise within. While I'm more than happy to pretend to ignore the screaming, Tanya leans back with a wide smile on her face, reveling in it. It's not difficult in the slightest to hear every word of his tirade as he rips into a student. Their mistake appears to have been not wearing their welding mask. Oh, their welding mask properly, as the whole room now knows. See, I was gonna say, I don't think I had the college professor that was passionate enough to rip into a student. But if they're doing something as stupid as not wearing their welding mask properly, I could see most people getting mad at that. At least they take safety seriously.
Ah, the old warhorse is at it again.
I'm starting to realize I probably shouldn't be here.
Nah, you're fine. He's a great guy once you get to know him. Just gotta stay on his good side. At least you're alright to chat with. Darren kinda keeps to himself, and I never got along with Heather.
What? No, I couldn't have guessed that. Come on, what? Heather's great.
What's up with her? I don't get why she's in the club at all at this point.
She just shrugs.
Something about her always bugged me. Hardly even pretends to try in the meets either.
As the seconds go by, the various noises around the room fill the air between us. It's easy, though, to tell we're thinking the same thing. It sucks that things have gotten to this state. Millie does well hiding the frustration she must hold over it, but I almost wish she just let it out.
Well, no point in dwelling. What's gone is gone. I just hope things turn around for her, given how life's treated her lately.
I'm not gonna get you in trouble for this, am I?
The worst he can do is yell at me as I pack up my bag, then I'm out of his hair for the weekend.
Any plans?
I don't do plans. I'm gonna kick back, veg out, and I'll work it out from there.
These girls are absolutely, unmistakably nothing alike. Evil and intimidating horse. Wait. Does this class have something to do with Wallace? What do you mean by that? Gosh, water's so good.
So, you satisfied I'm not gonna bail out on you then?
Yeah. Sorry for bothering you. Just trying my best.
No worries. We'll get Millie through the next semester. Just trust me.
No, Tanya called the teacher the warhorse. Yeah. I did not. My brain did not connect those dots at all. You know, I'll blame it on the fact that it's late. I have no other excuse for it other than that, but you know, it works. Here's hoping. One week later. I've never put much stock in possessions. A couple of plants to care for is just about the only luxury I've got going for me. As my aging bike grinds and creaks out of the school gate, however, I realize I might be taking my frugality too far. I need to pick up some grease for this thing sometime, instead of just hoping it'll keep going. Turning into the street, I notice the old trolley slowly rattling onwards from its stop beside the campus. I might want to try and keep up with it as best I can, but I don't want to risk the bike being how it is. The platform lies empty of students, except a lone woman leaning on a light pole and listening to music. I'm slow to stop as our eyes meet. Is it my favorite? I idle up beside her and put a foot on the ground to steady myself.
Mr. Trolley?
It's my favorite. Try as I might, it's hard to read anything from her placid face.
Something like that.
Everything she says has an air of aloofness to it. Maybe I should find that snooty or arrogant, but I think that's just how she is, rather than anything intentional. No, she's just too cool. Haley visibly thinks to herself for a moment, rubbing the back of her neck. Finally coming to some sort of decision, she takes off her headphones and addresses me properly.
Hey, how far is your place from here?
Not too far. Close enough to bike, at least.
That answer was so vague, Olive.
Sounds good.
Never mind, it was good enough.
Huh?
She tilts her head like the answer should be
You
obvious.
can visit if you want, but I have work in a couple hours.
That's fine.
Well, glad that's been mutually decided, at least. With that, I start for home, Haley trailing along beside me. The pills made you hallucinate a different connection of words. Yeah, exactly. See, you've got my back. You understand. It was the pills' fault, right? After leaning my bike against the wall, I follow Haley in and close the door behind me. She has the look of a tourist, eyes darting from one area to another.
I didn't know anyone was coming, so it's a bit shabby. Don't get many visitors, really.
Olive, we've already talked about this. It's fine. Especially since you've already been to their apartment. Since you've already been to their apartment.
I was actually thinking how clean everything is.
That is the exact response I thought Haley was gonna have. Peeking through her normally enigmatic persona is an air of disbelief. I'm a bit mystified until I remember how their apartment was, and that was when they knew I was coming over. At least she's talking now. The ride here in total silence was one of the most strained experiences I've ever had. You just need to get more comfortable in silence. I don't know what else to tell you. Something's eating at her. Even I can tell that much by this point. Before I work out how to fill the air between us, Haley's eyes fall on the old console sitting under my even older television. She pushes her shin out towards it, a rare glimmer of interest sparkling in her eyes.
That old thing still work?
Oh my gosh, she's also a gamer girl. Oh my gosh.
Who knows? You can try if you want. I don't get much use out of it.
I want to talk to her about where this all came from, but the timing never quite seems to feel right. Haley picks up a controller as I fiddle about with the modest pile of games, nodding to the first I held up before I put it in, a fighting game. I've tried a couple of times. No sooner do I take a seat beside her and start up a match, I put on the back foot. She pushes me to the edge of the mat before juggling me into the air and comboing me over and over. So, as Theo confirmed, Haley is a certified hardcore gamer. She just keeps getting better and better. The fact that she's just whooping all of in Smash Bros, that's awesome. Her work done as the round is called. Or not, because there aren't really rounds in Smash Bros. I assume that's what they're... Never mind. Maybe I was wrong. It's a different fighting game. Her work done as the round is called, she slumps back into the cushions. I managed to do a bit of damage, but it's already clear that I don't have a chance of winning any further rounds. Well, if nothing else, at least this is a welcome distraction from studies and work. We start up another round. I try my best, but this goes about as well as the last. With the match finally over, and Haley easing off the controller, I get a chance to address the elephant in the room.
So, anything on your mind?
Just tired. Not with school or anything, just those two.
Are things really that bad?
I was about to go home on the trolley, but when the doors opened,
It's that bad that you're like, I don't want to go home anymore. That's awful. Haley trails off, unsure how to explain herself. Or rather, stopping herself from doing so. She puts the controller down and sighs.
Maybe I should just live alone like you. Nice and quiet here.
You don't sound super convincing.
You got me.
She leans back into the couch. I'm not sure if that signifies a pause or an end to the conversation.
I guess I just forgot how much I missed having a normal life with those two till you came around.
Uh-huh.
Me?
You coming over for lunch the other day was the first time in forever that apartment felt... ordinary. It's rare to see Millie that open and talkative at home. It was nice.
I can almost make out the corners of her lips curl into a smile, but they're back to a frown before they get all the way there. This music's so good right now. Me bringing Blaze Blue on my Switch to school today, Lamau. That's so... Dude, Blaze Blue's so hype. Granted, I'm not, like, the biggest into it, but I had to get the 3DS version of it because I'm like, all these characters look so sick, all the moves look awesome. Blaze Blue is so cool. And I wish... Because there hasn't been, like, another one since, like, the... Ruby Persona. Was there Persona characters in that game too? I think there was. The Ruby Persona crossover game, which like not even a lot of people played. I'm like, please, Arcs, do more with it. It was cross tag battle that I brought. Let's go. Yes, Persona. Oh, that game was so fun. It's also been a long time since I played it, but that game was so fun. Especially being like a Persona and Ruby fan, and also being like, again, not the biggest Blaze Blue fan, but they're such cool games. They're so fun. Just again, like the two that I've played, they've got so much style to them. Again, I also like Guilty Gear. I blanked on the name for a second. I wanted to call it Guilty Strive, but then I'm like, no, it's Guilty Gear Strive. Like, that game's also so much fun. But I think I like Blaze Blue a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie. I got BBTAG for Ruby, and it got me into Persona. That's awesome. Like, Granted, the only Persona I really played at the time was a little bit of 5, but like that, like that's what is like cool about like crossover stuff like that in general, is that like it gives you the opportunity to like get into other stuff. Like one of the cool things about Smash Bros is like, oh, here's all these characters from games you've never played. Oh, I like this character. Let me learn more about their game. That's awesome. Also, I want to take a slight detour. I want to take some Snapchats. I forgot to do this before the stream. Blop blop. Hang on. Gotta open and look at them really quick. But yeah, no. Now that's got me thinking about it. I don't know where I put my copy of that game, but I really want to play it again. Just because, like, I'm like the most casual fighting game player ever outside of Smash Bros. But gosh, that was fun. Alright, there we go. Did it. It's over. Especially since it's like one of the only games like that you can play as Ruby characters in, and I'm also really big into Ruby, so it's like, oh. Like that was the main reason I looked into it too. We read that part.
And then Caprice came home and got in Millie's face about the wine she left on the counter.
She sits there, staring into space as she recounts how the day ended. As she finishes the thought, her eyes meet mine, and she corrects her posture, as if just remembering I was there.
Sorry for making this weird.
You're good.
She's quick to break eye contact soon after my response, retreating back to her thoughts.
You should have seen them before all this. You'd barely recognize them.
That's the impression I get, yeah.
She thinks a little, hesitating a moment before taking her phone from her pocket. I'm left to wait as she pokes about on it. She taps on the screen, then shows it to me.
What's this?
A photo from about a year back, with Millie and Caprice. I've held on to it ever since.
A group of friends crammed into a tiny room. I recognize the others as the art club members, but Caprice and Millie definitely steal my attention away, both smiling wide.
It was their first college party together. I wasn't actually there, but they both lit right up while telling me about it. They told me all about the new friends they were making, the art club that Caprice made, how Millie was going to lead the big writing club soon and do all sorts of stuff with them. They had everything lined up for the future and were excited to get to it. It was easy to get caught up with their energy at the time.
She thinks on her words before abruptly locking her phone and slipping it back into her pocket. I don't think I've seen Haley rattled like that before. A passing car on the street only highlights the sudden quiet.
I guess it didn't really turn out like that. Sorry again. I didn't mean to come over here and dump this all on you.
Nah, girl, you're good. You can keep talking about it if you need to.
No, really, it's fine. I can't even begin to imagine what things must be like at your place nowadays. I'm surprised someone like you would be friends with two people who are so outgoing. Not that I mean that in a bad way, I
get what you mean. We met in high school. Well, more like they found me during high school.
The extroverts adopting the introverts. Natural. Classic.
You make it sound like they picked up a stray cat.
That's a callback. That's what Haley was saying earlier. Oh my gosh.
That's basically how it went. The two of them were practically inseparable. Picked up a new friend to share. Back when they were so gung-ho about their clubs, part of me was happy that they'd found friends who could keep up with them, who wouldn't be holding them back.
You and me might be in the same boat. I really admire Millie's passion, but I get tired just thinking about keeping pace with her sometimes.
See, look at the connection that they share. This is like the canon route in my heart. The thing about both of them being so dry with their answers is that they can create this comfort for one another. Their vibes match. So that's like basically what I was just saying right there. Oh my gosh. Well, kind of. The physical edition comes with a small story that goes over that. It's so cute. Wait, hang on. I didn't know that had another little story with it. Like, it goes over like how Haley, Millie and Caprice met. I just blanked on Millie's name. That made me feel like, ew, gross. It's Millie. I need to remember her name. It like goes over like how like they all met. That's awesome. Well, I mean, hey, that just means I gotta pick up the physical edition too, because I want to read that story. Because that's the thing with like all these like games is like whenever I'm like done with them, I'm like, oh, I want a little bit more. So having that physical edition there to pick up, I'm like, oh, look, there's a little bit more. So I'm super down with that. But yeah, no, because I think that is the thing. Like, they're surrounded by like so many like people who are like so not their vibes. Like, the only person who really fits their vibes is like sort of Darren and like sort of Wallace. But even then, Darren, he like more like flakes out a lot on like the group, like doesn't like do stuff with them. Whereas like Olive is like able to like put in like that effort, like they try a bit more. And Haley's kind of like that same way, where like she's like very dry and reserved, but she's like feels like she's more into things than like Darren or Wallace would. I guess if that makes like any sense. So like them having each other, like they're like the only people that they have who are like on the same like mindset as each other. It's a short, small bonus, but it's so cute. No, I'm so good at that. Like the physical edition of Please Be Happy also has one of those, and it just makes me, even if like they're only like these tiny little things, I'm just so happy to get extras, because that also just like shows like a lot of like, you know, more care and passion going into it, instead of it just being like, you know, like reselling the same thing. It's like, here we're like reselling the same thing as a physical edition this time, but here's like a little bonus content for you guys. And I'm like, that's awesome. There it is again. It's only slight, but that tug at the corner of her mouth shows she's feeling the same thing I am. A slight sense of camaraderie in our shared situation, dealing with two impossible people. With that, no, you don't have to go. With that, Haley picks herself up off the couch and takes a long stretch.
Thanks for letting me come over. I'd better let you get to
Oh
work.
yeah, we do have that, huh? Shoot, responsibilities.
Sure. You gonna be okay getting back?
Yeah, the walk could be worse. I could do with the exercise anyway.
That's not what I meant.
It'll be fine. I just needed a break.
As she walks over to make her leave, Haley stops and looks back from the half-open door.
Oh, and Olive,
Yeah?
thanks again for coming over the other day.
No problem. Hopefully we can get Caprice around next time.
Yeah, hopefully. Catch you.
Yeah, catch you.
She strides out the door and shuts it behind her. At caps, please, the masses crave for threefold. We do, we need it. I love that in the first stream. I think that was when we were all talking about like the different titles for like the sequel, that because we need that Haley route. We need more Haley content. We need it. I'm craving it so bad. Like, listen, I really like Billy so far, but like the fact that like Haley's walking out, I'm just like, no, please come back. You're my favorite so far. Don't go. And it's like, aw, I just need that route. It's sort of like how with like Please Be Happy, it's like, dang, yeah, I do love Julia and Aspen, but a Lena route would be pretty good. I would like that a lot. Because I love her. I love her so much. And that's exactly how I feel about Haley. With my guest gone and work imminent, I sink further into the couch cushions, for lack of anything else to do. One week later. Every time it rains, there are at least a few poor souls left milling about underneath one of the campus building entrances, mourning their forgotten umbrellas or raincoats. Today, Tanya and I joined them. The storm came quick and recently. Might have missed the rain entirely if we hadn't been hanging around in the writing club. As the two of us quietly bemoan our circumstances, Millie joins us underneath the building's awning, having finished her tidying up.
All the times for the truck to be dead. I was gonna drive past the burger place on the way home, too.
The place with the giant spinning hamburger on the roof. With chipped paint all over the place.
Why do you say that so judgmentally? That sounds awesome.
That's the one!
I feel like you could do a lot better for yourself.
Stop the judgment, Olive. This sounds awesome.
It's cheap as dirt, though.
That's why it's awesome.
Nope, not good enough, sorry. Can't forgive any competition to our diner.
Oh.
Also, we have daily specials that run pretty cheap.
That's fair, Olive. You're valid. You're valid.
It's good that you managed to find work for yourself. The job market isn't easy these days.
You're not hiring, are you?
Do you actually want to work customer service?
She gives a long sigh.
Point taken. Begrudgingly.
With Tanya stewing in her misery, I look out to the mess of a walkway in front of us, coated in mud and dead leaves.
Ugh. I'm gonna be stuck tracking mud into the apartment. Not to mention all the extra laundry I have to make time for now.
Rain's no big deal. It'll help the farmers out, given how dry it's been lately.
Realization strikes her as Tanya's face slowly collapses. She's normally such an easygoing person that it's rather jarring.
Something wrong?
My laundry is outside.
Oh, nice.
In
Let's
the rain.
let's go. Let's go. Perfect timing. You wanted to do laundry, be productive, and God said no. Oh, we love that. We have the same thing where we fall for one character from the supporting cast. It's so rough, man. It's so rough. Where it's like, because like when I was first started, like again, like using Please Be Happy, I didn't know that like it was Juliet or Aspen for the first little while. I was like, man, I can't wait to do like the Lena route. I always struggle with her name for some reason. I don't know why. And then when it was like, oh, she doesn't have one, I was like, it's a good thing Juliet and Aspen are like the best people ever. Otherwise, I'd be even more depressed than this already makes me. But falling in love with like the supporting cast, it's such a rough ride, bud. It's such a rough ride.
Oh, screw this. Wait, I can give you a lift in.
Before she can get the words out, Tanya tears off across the grounds with her backpack above her head, her rapid-fire swearing not quite drowned out by the rain's low rumble. You know, I will say, with Summer, at least I'm already like, you know what? All of my faves are like the main character, so I'm like, I'm good there. I'm safe. I'm safe. I learn a surprising number of new curses before she's out of earshot. Watching her disappear out the gate and over the road, I don't think that's the kind of solution I could ever commit to.
My car.
You tried.
Wait, how did you get to school today?
Bike, as always.
Can I interest you in a ride?
Oh, this EG is so pretty. And the effects of the light, like everything about this looks so good. Again, just the lighting on it is so nice. I think that's like one of the biggest things that I like about the art for this game is that like it just looks very like painted. Like obviously it does. Like the fact that you can like see like this isn't just like shading, it's just like you can like see like the strokes and everything. Like I really like that look. I still haven't read Samayuni because it's a demo. That's fair. I understand like not being like too into demos, but I thrive off of demos. Like if a game releases a demo, I'm like so much more likely to try it than if there isn't one. And that's how I first found Please Be Happy, because I was reading like Fate and I was like, you know, I want to try like reading more visual novels for the channel. So I just got onto Steam and I was like looking up visual novels and was like, oh well, this one has a demo out. Let me try that. And then it was all uphill from there. Best decision you could ever make on Steam. So how to eat art. Listen, you just got to print it out. It's not that hard. Come on. I like reading demos after playing the full game. Really? You like so you read the full game and then you go back and play the demo after? I'm trying to think, cuz I don't, granted there's probably there's obviously like differences, but I don't know how many major ones, cuz I think when I was like getting like, you again to keep using Please Be Happy as an example, I read the demo before the full game was out. Then when the full game was out, I just kind of mashed through it just because I had read the demo not that long before the full game had come out. So I was like, in my brain I was like, well, I already went through this and I just want to get up to the new stuff because I just need to keep reading and like going on with it. So like that's kind of like been my thoughts. I never thought about like going back to check out the demos after like playing the full games. Exhausted from school and the rush to her car in the rain, I ended up sunken deep into the comfortable cushion of Millie's passenger seat by the time she pulled up on my place. She's a careful driver, especially in the rain, which suits me just fine. I do my best to pat down my wet hair with a sleeve, but all I do is rearrange the mess. Millie tries the same, to even worse results as the sands stick to her face.
Thanks again. I was dreading trying to get home in all this.
Considering I saw you two moping about at the entrance, it would have been mean to just leave you there.
I don't know about no, you were moping. You and Tanya were moping hard. I think the only demo I've played was for the Waters Above because the project is kind of canceled now. I've never heard of that. Hang on. I'm gonna do a quick little Google search. And you're saying it was. Hang on. Let me reread your message. Is kind of canceled? Is it sort of like, oh, another Studio Lawn game? I've never heard of this. The Waters Above. Studio Alone. Oh. I've never seen anything for this before. How have I not? I like because I'm looking at a thing right now like, yeah, this is on like the Studio Lawn YouTube channel. I'm like, but I've been all over that thing. How have I just missed this? This looks awesome though. What the freak? Was like there any like discussion as to like why it was canceled, or is it sort of like a soft cancellation of like, hey guys, let's just like not talk about this anymore? Because that like looked so interesting. Yeah, again, I had never heard of it, so like, this is the first time it's ever been brought up to me, so that's interesting. As my hand moves to the door, the shunting sound of the door's locking rings out. Pulling at the handle a couple times confirms the fact, only making me more confused. Oh?
Millie, the doors are locked.
That has... Listen, that's such a baller move on Millie's part, but like, especially being like an introvert like Olive, like trying to get out of the car and then suddenly it just locks on you. Terrifying. Probably terrifying for them. Patreon post. I don't have the money to look at the post again, but it was confirmed. Oh, I'll have to look at it then. Because I'm just interested, like, even if it is canceled, I'm just more curious to figure out why. Because, yeah, again, it looked interesting, so there's probably like a good reason as to why it was canceled. She leans over the steering wheel with a smile on her face that's altogether too calm.
Tell me, what's on your mind?
Oh? Where is this conversation going?
Right now, whether my body will ever be found.
I think one of my favorite parts about like laughing and all that stuff is like just seeing the way like my body jerks all over the place as I do. It's a great time. It's a great time. It was a good read. It had a lot of really interesting premises. See, like that's the thing. Like I'll probably end up reading the demo, like the prelude that they put out for it, if it's like still. Well, is it even still available anywhere? Because like again, I've been all over like the Steam pages and stuff like that, so I haven't seen it anywhere. So might have to do more research into it. It is on Steam. Okay, then yeah, we'll probably check that out. Because again, even if it's canceled, it's probably still worth the read. Like you're saying, like it was a good read, so it's probably like, you know, even if it's canceled, it's still worth the go through. She giggles. Oh, the sound of the rain was like a little too squelchy, and I was like, wait, are we about to turn into like a horror visual novel right now? Is this about to turn bad? No, it's just the rain. She giggles, just audible over the noise outside. I close my eyes to resign to my fate. Olive, this is not... Again, but you're also just so introverted. Outside of that, this is so not that bad. The inside of the car rumbling from the pounding of the rain on the roof. Water pours down the windshield, reducing the street lamps ahead to shimmering blotches of light in the darkness of night. The occasional car shoots by, only to disappear as soon as it arrives.
One more try, Olive.
Why is she looking at us like that? Why?
Is this about the club?
Getting warmer.
Better that than this being about Haley's visit the other day. At least, this interest in the craft aside, I feel like I've been a model student, which narrows it down to...
I've been asking around, I guess, about the state of things.
She stares at me, patiently waiting for me to say the words she wants to hear. After a few seconds, I gradually work out what she must be pulling me up about.
And I may have been avoiding bringing it up with you.
Her satisfied smile makes it clear I've come to the right answer. She sure pulls off a convincing impersonation of a teacher sometimes.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
How did you end up hearing about this?
People told her?
People will tell you all sorts of things beyond what they're asked. I just struck up a conversation with them about you. You'll be pleased to know they're all quite opinionated on the subject.
Her smile doesn't waver as she delivers that line, which twists my stomach in a knot more than it should.
Look, I'm sorry for not talking to you directly, but I only avoided you because the club, well,
Is on its last legs?
Well, I mean, we were gonna say it. This is just like Upwards Rain 2024. Oh, that I love the terrible puns.
that's one way of putting it, yeah.
I might try to be optimistic, but that doesn't mean I'm blind. You don't need to tiptoe around me like I'm a child. One thing still escapes me, though. Why bother in the first place?
It's entirely selfish, really. I was worried that if it fell apart, you wouldn't have a reason to tutor me anymore. I'm sorry. I have a lot riding on this.
It's the truth, and it makes perfect logical sense to me, but only seems to leave Millie more confused.
Did I say something wrong?
I've never seen that in a person before. So much effort put into convincing yourself you're not a good person.
Dang, you don't need to cut them so deep, so like, just so quickly.
I promise to help you, with or without the writing club. Please don't call it selfish. Next time, just ask.
The baffling sense of faith written on her face almost makes me embarrassed. I don't think I'm wrong, but arguing that I'm not as good a person as she thinks feels like a strange hill to die on. That would be an odd motivation to have to get into an argument with someone. The sharp shunt of the doors unlocking reverberates through the car, breaking me from my thoughts.
Sorry for putting you through this. I don't often get the chance to talk with you alone these days.
You're not mad at me?
Why would I be mad at you? All I wanted to know was what's going on. To be honest, I was a little worried you were thinking of quitting too.
We would never.
I wasn't... Sorry, lesson learned. I'll keep you in the loop with this sort of thing, in future. See you tomorrow, Millie. Oh, and next time you drive me somewhere, could you keep the doors unlocked?
No, that was funny. She just smiles as I step out into the rain and shut the door behind me, the hazards flashing away in the night as I jog inside. Stepping inside, I shut the door and take a long, deep breath, leaning back against it. My shirt's wet, sticking to my arms and dripping water onto the floor. My hair's a mess from the rain, and the water's reached my socks. Despite that, I can't seem to bring myself to care about such things. I've seen the sight ahead of me countless times before, the same old apartment just as I left it. The rain outside pattering against the window, piercing the otherwise silent air, the broken heating, the aging television, everything the same as it ever was. Something is different, though. All this time, worrying about being a burden on Millie has melted away, replaced with the feeling that we're a team. I guess I just have to live up to it, then. A few days later. Oh. Oh. Just like having the line art there looks so good. I was surprised to get a text from Tanya inviting me out for a trip to the bar, but with Millie this evening, especially given my status as a stick in the mud. Nevertheless, I was ready to validate that claim, initially rejecting the offer. Even if I didn't have plans on campus tomorrow, I had a shift for this evening. Emphasis on had, given how eager Mom was to pick it up when I offhandedly mentioned the invitation. With my plans forcefully ripped from me, I find myself sitting at the same bar we visited near the beginning of the semester. We've been here a couple of hours, and my two drinking companions have wound down their excited conversations and have settled into a steadier, slower discussion. No doubt partially because all of us are a few glasses deep at this point.
Nice to see you guys a bit more chilled out. Everyone around school's way too wound up about exams.
Given what I've managed to pick up on lately, I don't quite think the exams are what's weighing on Millie's mind. In fact, when I look at her, it's hard to think of reasons why she wouldn't be stressed. Exams are the obvious one. Her home life is a miss given the tension with Caprice, not to mention the writing club slowly falling apart around her. I'm probably another source of worry for her too, as she tries to drag me over the finishing lines of exams. She sure doesn't seem to have much sense of self-preservation.
All the things to stress about. Exams seem perfectly
Hang on,
acceptable.
is there a way that I can, like, get rid of... Did the drink just say drink on it? Is that what I was drinking? Is there a way to, like, I could, like, get rid of the text box? I don't... There probably is one. H. I look over at chat, and I saw H right above it. Olive drinking their favorite drink brand. Drink. I'm glad that... Wait. Drink. Oh, I thought it said drink after drink, but no, it says drink after dark. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, okay, no, you're being a little too on the nose about it if it said after drink too. I just love that I was, you know, the last one to understand what they were drinking.
In fact, I think you should be worrying about them a little more.
Come on, you know I'll be fine. There's still a month left anyway.
A month if you round up, maybe. She might do fine with her more hands-on stuff, but her gen ed courses are another matter from what I've heard.
Hey, what's with that face? You too, Olive?
Millie lets her friend simmer a little. Tanya gives up and orders another drink for the two of them to distract from the uncomfortable truth. What is that? 4 tonight? 5?
I expect it from Tanya, but I'm surprised to see how mellow you're being about them too, Olive.
Once you make yourself busy enough, you don't have any time left to panic. That's my coping method anyway.
That's the best way to do it. If you can't think about all the things that suck, like if you don't have time for it, then things don't suck as much. It's good plan, coping. A lie, but worrying about it out loud would just stress Millie out more, I'm sure.
You sure you're okay balancing work, chores, and exams?
Do I have a choice?
Nope, that's adult life, baby.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, you should be focusing on your own well-being instead of taking on their stress as well. Unless you're trying to distract yourself from your worries by worrying about someone else?
Another super healthy way to do it. If you're completely consumed with other people's lives and how all the hard stuff they're going through, you can't focus on your own. We're doing great here.
It's nothing like that. What are you even talking about?
Tanya gives a knowing smirk, while all I can manage is a weak blush.
Even though I've said this a few times now, I do appreciate the effort you're putting in for me.
You'd better pass your exams, you know. I'd look really silly if I did all this, only to have you flunk out on me.
That would be so funny, though. That'd be so funny if we go through all of this just to fail anyways.
Oh, well, I was considering failing, but since you're so insistent...
Come on. Do we really need to talk about school while we're out drinking?
You're college students. What else do you guys have going on in your lives?
There's not much else for me to talk about right now.
I sigh into my mug, still half full.
I should get a hobby after all this is over.
I mean, that's kind of what the writing club is.
I'd say cooking counts.
And that.
Barely. I wish I could be as passionate about that as you are with your writing.
I'm with you on that. You've stuck with it for a while, haven't you?
Millie looks wistfully at her glass, holding it tight in both hands.
I think everyone needs something to cherish. It doesn't need to be another person, a hobby, a cause, a life's work. It doesn't need to be grand, just something to give yourself over to.
What is...
Writing, reading, a club ended up being that for me.
Oh, I was looking at the stream and like, I was just like stuck with like my eyes closed and like just look it up. That's probably how it's just been this entire time and I've just only now noticed it, but that's fine. That's fine. Olive, do it for the Vine. Yes, please, just fail. It'd be so funny.
Without that, I think someone is like an empty glass. While it could be filled by others, it's nothing when by itself.
She delicately rubs the condensation on the outside of the glass with her thumbs. I can't help but go silent at her words. It's up to Tanya to break the overly serious atmosphere. Millie's glass filling with beer from Tanya's bottle.
Then you better keep your own glass full, eh?
Millie gives a weak smile and slightly awkward sigh, coming back to her senses. I think I'm finally getting a feel for how these two ended up as friends, despite their differences. Millie gives a weak smile and a slightly awkward sigh. Wait, I just like I think the pills are starting to hit me a little too hard right now. Aww. The night air sure has a chill to it these days. The air in front of our mouths forming small clouds as we slowly walk up the dark street. The sleeping girl on my back at least provides some warmth. Millie's arms loosely slung over my shoulders as I carry her. Or at least I try to. My steps are a little uneven. I am definitely swaying side to side, but luckily Tanya leans against me as a counterbalance. It's a small wonder this area is totally empty this time of night, giving the walk an almost surreal quality, like we're the only people left in the world.
I can't believe she managed to get herself that drunk.
You're not exactly sober yourself.
Millie's weight shifts as she starts sliding downwards, my heart jumping as I quickly pull her up again with a bit of effort.
Could you please at least try to hang on?
She snuggles into my back, possibly half asleep, or maybe just out of reflex. I never thought I'd be thankful for years of building up my strength, but lugging around sacks of ingredients at work.
Thanks for carrying her. She doesn't usually get this wasted. Sure you're good to get back home afterwards?
It's not that far. I'm over the worst of it anyway. Thanks for giving her a place to crash.
It's nothing new. My place is close enough to the bar that she's stayed the night more than once. She gets the couch, though. I'm not that nice of a host. Besides, we hang out at my place all the time. She's alright company.
Hey, if you gotta go to bed, by all means. The scene and music are way too chill for this hour. I was thinking that same thing. As like, soon as like I messed up that, I was like, you know, maybe we'll do this like next scene, and then we'll call it there. And then like the vibes, the music right now, I'm like, oh no, am I gonna fall asleep while finishing this? But no, we're gonna finish the scene and then we'll call it there. But it is way too chill for almost 1 in the morning my time. But we'll make it through. Wait, a lone car passes us in the night's darkness. I continue to plod along with the weight on my back. Millie stopped rustling about, so she's probably gone to sleep completely. The fact she trusts me that much is a nice feeling. Everyone needs something to cherish. Even as the evening's gone on and my mind started to haze, those words have danced around in my thoughts since she said them. I know what's important to me, and how important it is. For so long, looking out for Mom and doing my best to not disappoint her has been enough to keep me moving forward. Well, why do I keep coming back to these words, to these words then? There's no tug at my heart, no butterflies in my stomach, merely an itch just below the skin, impossible to scratch. Millie slumps forward across my shoulders again, making herself just visible in the corner of my eye. I wish I could see in myself what you see in me. I've been honest about my motivations, as selfish as they may be, yet you push on anyway. You're always there to offer help whenever I need it, always with a smile on your face. The way you confidently assure me that there's more to it, that you're so sure I'm worth the effort despite all that. It's
More than I deserve.
Millie readjusts herself, burying her face in my neck as I realize I let the tail end of that out into the air. I can only take solace in the fact that it barely registered to her, if at all. The same can't be said of the woman walking beside me, wearing an indulgent grin as I continue to redden.
What?
That's the first time I've seen someone fall in love.
Of course. If I haven't heard that sentiment enough before, this is definitely the tipping point. I let out a sigh, deciding a proper response not worth the hassle as I reinforce my hold on Millie's arms. Sorry, I got too distracted by all the little purple stars at the top. Our discussion comes to a halt as both of us stop walking, both our attention taken by the sight from above. Standing in the middle of downtown as cars drive to and fro, Tanya and I quietly gaze up at the falling snow. The next day. And you know what? That is first real snow. No, stop it. I was going to make that joke. No. Oh, I was going to be like, And what a great time to like call it for the end of the stream with the first real snow. Yeah, I was just a second behind. No, but it's fine. It's fine. You know, I appreciate you making it even if I didn't. Let's go ahead and save right on over that one. But you know, regardless of that, I'm still like, yeah, no, that's like a really good spot to like finish because like I love like getting stuff done, like being like, oh, we haven't made any progress today, but like we've got like through so much, we learned so much about the characters, we made so much progress in the story. The fact that we're already to the point of like, oh, Olive might be a little bit in love with Millie. It's like, ooh, we've gone places, we've done stuff. So I would say more about it, but my mind is currently not with me. All I'll say is like I love what Millie was like saying about like having something to cherish in life, because I'm like that is like my mentality to a T. Like you have to like have the stuff that like gives your life meaning. You have to cherish it. You have to like have stuff like that you love, whether again be like people or hobbies or like projects that you love working on. Like that is just like a good way to think about life. It doesn't need to be like any one of these things. It's just whatever you cherish. That was fun. Thank you so much for like coming out and like spending the night with me, Tracy. That was so much fun to like read through this with you. I love getting to share these like these visual novels with stuff who like also love them too. It's so much fun to do it together. So yeah, thank you again so much for coming on out tonight. And yeah, with that, like again, there really isn't too much more to go over. Again, I'll be back tomorrow for some kind of stream, and we'll be back on Wednesday next week. Promise this time for real. Next week we'll be doing more TwoFold, probably at a slightly earlier time, but you know, it'll be Wednesday regardless. Again, unless I get hit by a bus. And wish if you don't hear from me, just assume the worst. That's what happened. Hopefully I won't be in class. Listen. If you do, we'll still be going for a long time probably. We'll be, because I don't know. I just like playing the visual novels. I love doing it. So I like doing it. Like the way I used to do it in the past was like, I just do it till I get sleepy. So hopefully, even if you aren't around for the beginning of it, we'll still be going pretty late. Not as late as tonight. I only did it like this late tonight specifically because of how late the start was. But you know, we'll still be going late because I want to keep playing this game. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you to everyone who came out tonight, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their night/morning. Anyways, gotcha. So yeah, hopefully I can see you there. Good night, everyone. I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye-bye.